I had to run the intro twice because I just hit the intro and forgot to hit record. So here we are, take two,
Mm.
The ADLR Podcast, live recording here on twitch.tv/splitscreenlosers. You're probably hearing this on a Friday or after. You're too late, obviously. We recorded it. I'm joined here by Brian.
Mm.
We got Randall here, making sure Instagram is still functioning.
What's up?
And Kelsey went to go get some water. He'll be back from other stuff. We're here after the beginning of E3, I guess. We're on day 3, I guess. We had press conferences on Saturday, on Sunday. There was also some announcements on Thursday with the Summer Game Fest. So we have some stuff there to be excited about or not be excited about. I just wrote down some of the stuff that I wanted to talk about under the E3 announcements. If you guys have other stuff, just don't feel free to chime in. But the list of games that on the dock is just stuff that I either like or want to make fun of. So that is that. What have you guys done for the past week? Brian, how's your music class coming?
It's going. I before this podcast started, I just bounced the first part of the second song project. Like it's the whole point of it is to finish 3 songs from beginning to end within the month, right?
Okay.
And and they do it by letter. So the first song was 1, and there's an A part of it, a B part of it. And the A part is to find the vibe, like something very rough just for concept parts. And I just did that before we started recording here for the second song.
Okay. When you turn it in, and do you guys like hear each other's work, or is it just for solo stuff? Okay.
No, it's not even like homework. It's like guide. There's like due to day or whatever, but you can put it whatever. There's no grade. It's just like guideline, like benchmark, I guess.
Okay.
To like due today, and then you won't be behind, and then have to do it all in a day or something like that.
They just want to make sure that you're getting the concepts, just kind of understanding what's going on.
Yeah, and then you post them, and then you can see everyone else who's enrolled and listen to their stuff and put feedback.
So how badly did you shame everybody?
Ooh.
I don't think I really shamed anyone. There's a few on here that are
Not with that.
actual singers. There's actual singers for some of this stuff. So when I got to the part you had to lay down like a reference track for singing, like, okay, well, they actually do this. And then there's others like me. There's others that did no effects and just attempted to sing. And then there was me. I was like, you know what? Let me auto-tune this for giggles.
Yeah.
It was pretty entertaining.
Would T-Pain be like, oh, I'm about it? Or is it like...
No, it's more like 808s and Heartbreak kind of auto-tune.
Oh, okay. That's fair.
Man, it's fun. I kind of chose the worst month to do this, considering all I want to do is play Strive. But I've fought the temptation for most days.
Guilty Gear Strive. We'll get to that maybe later today on the episode. Kelsey, how's that injury? Completely healed up?
It's still slightly bruised. Like, I was hitting the heavy bag today, and I could feel it, but it's not like, oh god, I can't do anything.
Okay, you're still.
And I told the wife about our discussion about it's swelling and that kind of stuff, and she's like, yeah, that's pretty normal. And then I was like, they also suggested it might be broken, and she goes, probably not.
Is that her professional medical diagnosis? Yeah. You'll be fine. So you're able to just go back to class and be fine with it, as long as you don't put too much shit on it?
As long as I'm not targeting it, it's not too bad. Yeah. And you couldn't hear her, but the wife in the background says, I'm off duty. I don't fucking care after that.
Oh, those are facts. Those are hard facts. She doesn't know it, but she just earned it. Oh, okay. Randall.
I didn't do much. I just played a lot of Tekken. I didn't really do much art. Finally saw Quiet Place 2. Watched some
polar opposites.
Solar opposites.
Solar opposites. Mine was an actual thing.
Why is that not on the dock?
Because he figured we're gonna be talking about E3 stuff today, so he didn't bother.
Oh.
That's what they all say.
I don't think did you even finish this season? You just started
finished
it.
this
Oh, you finished the whole. Okay,
Yeah.
shit.
I think that's it.
All right. So how do you guys want to do this reaction? You want to
What
dive?
did you do?
Yeah, I mean, I just got hyped for E3 and then started watching the E3 stuff and just wrote down some of the games on there that I either got hyped for, wanted to speak about. You know, game journalist things. Kidding.
Well, I mean, you are the #1 game journalist in the U.S., so
I'm NA, yeah. People are winning esports NA. I'm winning journalism NA. You know,
exactly.
wasn't there actual tournaments this weekend or something? Didn't NA win something this weekend? Apex, right? Or someone had a tournament. I don't know. Big Game had a tournament this weekend.
Sonic
as well.
Fox won a tournament. They're there, NA, so
And
I guess that counts.
Oh, there you go. I think we're just the best gamers. Period. You
I
know?
don't know about all that.
I don't know. I mean, you can just join up with me. You know,
No, I'm
in
not
this
gonna lie.
alliance.
The 7 trillion people listening.
But they know if they saw LI Joe make a top 8 and then purposely lost to let other people win, and then now Sonic Fox is winning tournaments. Randall's won 2 tournaments, so that's NA.
Did you guys watch the UFC fights this weekend?
I did not. Did
No,
you?
I didn't.
Yeah, I try and catch them on Saturday when I can. There was a guy that got put in an arm bar and then dislocated his forearm from his elbow.
Oh my!
It was
God.
it was it's pretty awesome to watch.
Was it like the clip that you guys sent me of the dude's leg wrapping around the other guy's leg?
I mean, it was similar, but not nearly as bad. But the guy had him the guy was on the ground and had his arm, and the guy the guy with the dislocation was standing up over top of him, and then the other guy on the ground was wrapped around his arm, and he rolled, and as the guy went down, you could see his arm. It looked like it snapped at first, and the guy had him in a leg triangle, so he couldn't move and he couldn't do anything with the arm, but the arm bent, if it's this side, it went this way like this.
Fuck you.
And you could hear the crowd's reaction, and then me and some of the guys on the Discord were like, "Oh my god!" It looked like he broke it, but apparently he just dislocated it because so he's on the ground and he can't do anything with it, and the guy that's holding him in the triangle is looking at the ref aren't you gonna call this? He physically can't use his arm anymore, and the ref's just kind of standing there. So then he starts hammer fisting him in the face. And the other dude's not even fighting back because he's I mean, I guess I can keep going, but I'm down an arm, And the whole time that he's getting hit in the face, his arm is just sitting here doing this because he can't. It's not attached to anything anymore. And
I thought that would be an automatic stop of the match. If you dislocate.
They were talking about it afterwards. The announcer, Joe Rogan and the other 2 guys, or the sportscasters, were he should have stopped that fight. As soon as his arm snaps, he should have just called the fight and been no, the guy was not after the first couple of hits, but there was nothing. And so after the fight, the guy's then on the ground and he's just holding his arm, and he's there's no pain on his face. He's not upset. He's just damn, that sucks. And then apparently that they found out it was dislocated, and so they just snapped it back in place. And he's oh, that's better.
Okay.
And walks away.
Wouldn't it still be painful if it's dislocated?
I'm sure. I've never dislocated or broken anything, but I can only imagine that it every time somebody dislocates their shoulder and you pop it back into place, there's always a wince of pain. And he was just whatever.
That man must have been on some crazy adrenaline or just.
I'd assume there's nerve damage as well.
Oof. Oh shit. Okay. Well. Do they happen every month, every week? How do the UFC fights happen? Is it?
So there's
normally
every Saturday there's usually some sort of card. Usually what they do is they have a UFC card with a card number every 3-ish weeks or every 4 weeks.
Okay.
And then between them is a fight night. which is just like not people that are. I don't think they're usually ranked, or it's not a belt fight where they're fighting for the championship.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know a ton about it, like how they do it, but it's like every 2 or 3 weeks. They'll have for 2 or 3 weeks they'll have fight night, and then they'll have a card where they have like
A belt on the line.
yeah.
Gotcha. Okay, that's pretty cool. I don't know. It's like a weekly thing. I thought it was like a monthly, or if they just like how boxing does it, where like they have a title fight, so they make a pay-per-view event for it or whatever.
I mean, every couple of weeks it's a pay-per-view event.
Oh, okay, makes sense. Oh, okay, cool. All right, well, I guess everyone's caught up. Let's sink our teeth into what is it? Into E3 here at this point. Did you guys want to do per like showcase, or just free form games that we were like, let's get it,
I didn't actually get to catch very much. Like in part, I think I only saw the FromSoft, whatever FromSoft.
Oh, the Summer Game Fest when they ended it with Elden Ring.
Yeah, that's
So-
the only one that I actually caught. The rest of them, I was either busy or at a meeting
Gotcha. Okay,
or forgot about it.
that's fair. I mean, it was on the weekend, so you were probably busy or forgot about it, unless you were working this
Probably.
weekend.
No, I wasn't working this weekend.
All right. Well, I mean, Brian, do you have a preference, or Randall here?
I don't care.
No care.
Just to go for record, Capcom ceases to let me down.
I
Never
didn't.
stops.
I didn't watch theirs today. Did you finish watching it? There was nothing announced at all?
That
I
was
was
last time.
really.
There's stuff. There's them saying Resident Evil DLC in development, and then they
Oh.
showed the Phoenix Wright the thing they've already shown 17 times, the Phoenix Wright what's it called, coming out, and then they said stuff
With
from
his
Monster
ancestor.
Hunter.
Was
Yeah,
it-
Yeah, I don't remember who I just know he is an ace detective or whatever.
He's supposed to be like Phoenix's right ancestor.
Oh, but it's a brand new game, or it's a remake, or like a port or something.
I don't know.
Oh, so Monster Hunter and Ace Attorney, that's it.
And then they
and
said
Resident Evil's
DLC.
EA were making so nothing. They didn't show anything. A DLC trailer, nothing.
I don't remember that part, to be honest. I was already I was doing other things while I was up, and I didn't remember anything worthwhile.
So was it like the Outer Worlds 2, where it's like announcement, title card, and then he left, or?
I don't even think it was a title card. They just showed like a picture, from what I can remember.
Oh wow! At least Outer Worlds made a funny parody on itself of what it was doing. All right. Well, I mean, I'll go down my list of stuff, and if you guys have games as well, we'll jump in on that. Let's see. Oh, okay. So the Summer Game Fest was first last Thursday. They opened up the show with Tiny Tina's Wonderlands, which I thought was going to be like a vast departure from Borderlands, but it sounds like it's going to be pretty similar. It's like the pre-sequel, but a side story with Tiny Tina playing the Dungeon Keeper, like in the DLC for Borderlands 2. It takes place between 2 and 3 because she's still like a young adult, or like not even like a teenager or like a kid or something, whatever the hell how old she was in Borderlands 2. I thought because of the trailer, I thought it was going to show, or they're going to announce that you can like craft your weapons and mod your weapons and stuff, because it's like high fantasy, and it was a dude like hitting a gun with the like a gunsmith type of thing with like he was crafting it. So I'm like, oh shit! But it was all pre-rendered and just animation. And then they came out later on and said, no, you're not going to be able to mod your gun. So I'm like, why would you show
Yeah,
a guy that looks like he's making his own, then use it on a creature, and then say, no, we don't have modding in it, bro? That your game needs that. So I thought this was going to be it. They have a crazy cast of people voicing the characters. We have Wanda Sykes, Will Arnett, Ashley Birch, who does Tiny Tina's voice,
Samberg.
and Andy Samberg is going to be voicing characters in this. So that sounds like a pretty stacked main character thing, but we'll see. And there was no gameplay, so this is just all basically, hey, who's in it, and the title card. So I can't wait to see more gameplay. I thought they were going to show gameplay, especially since it's apparently slated for early 2022. So like January and stuff. So if it's only 6 months left, I would imagine you have something to show. Unless they're saving that for a different press conference, like Gamescom or something.
I don't know. After Borderlands 3, whatever the fuck that was, they've kind of taken it easy on showing stuff.
I don't know, man. They should. For 6 months out, you should show me something. Unless they're planning to delay it again. Not delay it again, but like delay it. But that's what I'm thinking here. Then right after that, they're making a new Metal Slug game, but it's in the form of a tactics game, which I thought was really really cool. It's a departure, obviously, because we're used to the side-scrolling like crazy arcade version of Metal Slug, but now they just use all the characters and made them types of units, and you can basically play Metal Slug in tactics mode, which I thought was pretty cool. Same art style and stuff, just in tactics mode. So we'll see how that turns out. Hopefully, good, because Gears Tactics came out and it was fun. If they're able to, if they're able to do the same thing but with the Metal Slug universe, that'd be pretty awesome.
The Metal Slugs. It looks like Final Fantasy Tactics, but take out Final Fantasy and put Metal Slug, and because of that, it makes me think of Advance Wars. So it's like, yeah, I'm waiting for it to be out already.
Yeah, Advance Wars was actually pretty fun. Speaking of which, I'm going to divert here. If you guys have, I think it's, oh my god, I forgot the name of it already. Today they had like an indie showcase. And there's a game that plays like Fire Emblem, like almost to the T, and it looks really, it's like sprites and stuff, and it's made by an indie studio. I forgot what it was called. It was like Dark something. Oh man, I forgot. I was going to mention it on here, forgot to write it down. But it's very Fire Emblem-like, and I was going to mention it because I know you and Kelsey like playing the Fire Emblem stuff. But if I remember the name or the link, or someone in chat can help me out with that. Put it on there, but I forgot the name. I think they showed it off today, and it was like Dark something or... I forgot. I'll get back to that. What else was shown off here? The Anacrusis I thought was really cool. It's like a Left 4 Dead style game, but it's like the 70s and you're fighting aliens instead.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's like very vibrant level design. The creatures look kind of, but it's like the common one, so they all look the same and they don't look that vastly different. So there's aliens you shoot out. There's special aliens that do special things, and you're trying to get to the end of the. I think it's procedurally generated, but don't quote me on that. Again, vibrant, looks really cool.
So it's like Left 4 Dead, where you have your typical zombies, and then you have the special ones that kind of come out of nowhere.
Yeah, that's what it looked like from the gameplay they showed, which I applaud them. They had something to show. The next one is a game that's called Endless Dungeon that I forgot was in development until they showed up again.
Yeah.
And that looks really fun. It looks like a 3-player co-op. I think it's procedurally generated as well. And you play as remember that it was like a very stylized one. And it was like the chick that was narrating, and she had like a huge gun. And it was like a robot that you can put down to guard stuff. And you have to go room by room and like defend this crystal from whatever aliens are coming out. It looks like it's the camera's downward, like it's like if you're playing Diablo. Anywho, it looked a lot super fun, so that's one of those that's going to get added to the wish list and probably play that out. Go ahead, Ron.
Something that was announced today was River City Girls 2.
River City Girls 2 with gameplay, or is just a title card?
Just a card.
Ugh, come on.
They're adding 2 more characters that are. It's still. I don't know if it's 4-player co-op now. It says featuring 2-player online co-op, but they added 2 more characters along with the 2 that were playable in the first.
Are you guys planning on playing the DLC for Double
Streets of Rage? They added more. They added more DLC besides characters.
No, they haven't added that one yet. The one with the blonde lady playable, it's not out yet. But that's.
Oh, it's not.
No.
So wait, does Shiva come out before or after her?
Part of it. The way they're marketing it's part of the same DLC pack.
Oh, okay.
Is it new levels and stuff, or is it just new characters?
No, it's new levels too.
Oh, I mean, yeah, we have recordings of us running through it, so yeah, we can continue it. I'm down for that.
I gotta see. I think I told a friend of mine if I was gonna play with him as well.
Oh, then I mean, you can sort that out.
And if that's the case, I can just play it twice.
Yeah, it's not like it's a bad game, but you're forcing yourself. If you haven't played Streets of Rage 4, it's really fun.
Depends on your teammates.
I mean, we have some good teammates. Me and Randall are making sure that everyone dies efficiently. All right.
I wasn't responsible for his deaths. I will admit sometimes I might have taken health when he was going for it, but he makes it seem like I'm being vindictive. Like I'm not purposely like trying to make sure his health stays down. Like I'm looking at my health and I'm looking at everybody else's, and I'm like, oh, he has a little bit of health, but he has like +3, and I only have like two
life, like
2 lives. Yeah,
2 1-ups or lives.
See, that's, as the young people say, is cap. If you're looking at people's health, get the fuck away from that. He'll come out, you see him pause and still grab it. And secondly,
because
the notorious scene of Anthony and Randall standing on the other side of the bridge while I keep falling in a hole repetitively until I lost my life.
Was that
we were both on the other side? Yeah, he was like, "Yo, get back here," and I just was laughing because it was
because he kept respawning and fall. Okay,
and I was laughing too hard to fucking turn around. It was great. That's content right there. Anyway, oh, Brian, you said like young people say we're all young here, so you don't have to say that. We're hip with it, all right, and we still have hips, like those boomers out there with no hips. You feel me? Okay, let's move on there. A game called Tunic, which I thought was already out. You play as a little fox, and it's like a Legend of Zelda type of game, action RPG type of thing. It looks super fun. Art style is very stylized, super cute. It looks fun as shit. So I can't wait to play that as well. I'm kind of omitting release dates because a lot of stuff in E3 that are announced I usually push back and stuff, so I don't want to get people hyped.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to talk about the thing that if you want release dates, you can look it up, and then you can set it up.
The demo's playable for Tunic.
There you go. Give it a shot. I think it's on Steam, right? The demo?
I don't know. I just see on this post from Wario64 that it's on Xbox Live is up.
Gotcha. We'll get to Xbox. They had quite the fucking showcase.
I mean, they've been doing everything right for the last like 3 or 4 years.
Yeah.
And they keep talking about how they're just going to keep buying studios and being like, we're not doing exclusives anymore. Fuck that shit. Everybody needs to be able to play this.
Oh, they have exclusive. We'll get to them. They pulled a fast one on us. I'll get there in a bit, especially with the Bethesda buyout. So yeah, Tunic looked pretty cool for me. I was all in when I saw the art style, how it moved, how it plays, the action, the combat looks fun. Not like over the top crazy. It just looked satisfying. It's very Zelda-like with the roll, because you can like roll out of the way and dodge shit. So anyway. Evil Dead the game. Not a huge fan of the series. I saw the movies, enjoyed it, but there's something about the gameplay that they showed. It looked super smooth. Like it looked like it was polished. I don't know why. From what they showed, it looked like a stable game. Like it wasn't like, oh, that looks weird. Visually, the environments look great. The character models moved and animated really cool, or pretty smooth, I guess. And that was about it. I'm like, oh, this looks like a solid title. So I might give that a go. It looks like a 4-player co-op, and I don't know if you're going up against... I don't know if it's PvP or PvE yet. I don't remember the trailer that well, but...
I don't know that they really made a distinction. Like, it looked like you fought some stuff, but I couldn't tell if it was against people or like the primary was against people or not.
Yeah. So I
This looks really good, man.
Are you looking at it? Yeah.
Yeah.
You looking at the trailer now? Yeah. Like, I saw when they showed that, I'm like, oh, that looks like it's good to go. Environment looks great. The stuff, the combat looks okay. Like it's a lot of melee stuff, so very satisfying to beat the crap out of the zombies and stuff like that. I'm down to give it a try. And then they ended Summer Games Fest with what everyone was fucking waiting for. Elden Ring. Now with a fucking title card like before, they showed a good amount of gameplay, some stuff where me and Randall were like, what the fuck's going... When I saw the dragon, are you gonna talk about the dragon?
No, not yet.
Okay.
I just want to backtrack real quick. This game is like, do you see the amount of blood? It's like worse than Mortal Kombat.
Yeah. There's a part in the Evil Dead trailer where he grabs a shovel and like stabs on the guy's neck and then pushes it forward and then like shuffles it off of his head and it's just blood everywhere.
All right, but
He
yeah,
uses a chainsaw to cut somebody in half. Like,
and that too, yes.
So what was the game you was talking about?
Elden Ring, man.
Is that the one with the
dragon?
Oh my god! This dragon called down lightning like he was Thor.
Yeah, he out of this. It was like redlining out of the sky. He grabbed in midair and then like hit it on the ground for like an AOE attack.
Yeah.
I gotta give From Software something here, and it's the creative enemies that they make. They look like demons and stuff, and like they look like they'll one shot you in real life, but they all look new in some way. Like there was a wolf with a sword on his back that he was gonna use. I'm like, all the enemies they were showing were really cool looking. The combat and from the trailer looks like it's more Souls-like. A little, it looks like a little more responsive because it was faster paced from what I saw. Unless it was just sped up video.
It did look like it was a little faster paced, but I couldn't honestly tell if it was because it was actually faster paced or if it was just the whatever animations they were showing that they were doing stuff.
Yeah, so I don't know if it's like the moment to moment it's gonna be as quick as it was, but the combat looked pretty quick. Rolling.
They do love to make the like. They do love to have this dude that's this big fight something that's this big.
Yeah. It's how I know it's a From Software game at this point. Like, if I see one dude just moving around in an open world and then an enemy or a boss comes out and it's like the size of the guy's house, I'm like, this is a From Software game.
I think my
games.
favorite creature in the trailer was the hand thing. It was like a bunch of fingers like running along. Like,
Yeah.
it looked creepy as shit. I'm so excited.
That's why I gotta give them props for that. They definitely have a good job of... The creative team is like... They think of the weirdest shit and they just put it in the game. It's cool. So yeah, everyone got... The only thing that was missing from that announcement was, and Bloodborne on PC. That was the last thing. Because, I mean, they got...
Yes.
From Software... I mean, they didn't announce it. That's something that was missing.
Oh, no, they announced Elden Rings for PC.
Yes. But I'm talking about people have been waiting for Bloodborne to get ported over because they've been slowly putting Sony games over to PC, so they were waiting for that. But
Sorry, I was watching the trailer again because I'm just so excited for it, and I heard PC, and I was like, yeah, it's going to PC. And I realized you said Bloodborne.
which is also a good news because no one wants to wait for it to be ported over to PC. So it's great. It's good news all around for people who wanted another title from Software. Anywho,
Did Sony's happen?
no, they're not part of E3. They're gonna have theirs a couple weeks from now.
Okay.
I hope they follow Microsoft format.
No, they're not doing that shit.
They're probably gonna focus on one or two games that are coming out this year and then move on.
Nah,
But, I
man,
mean,
they're
I'm
gonna
I'm
talk
talking-
about how their PS Plus is now upgraded. Now you get 6 games instead of 5 every.
They might because they've been trying to catch up to Game Pass, so they're probably going to put focus on the what is it, PlayStation Now? Is their version of the subscription?
Yeah, the PS Now.
So they're probably going to be like, and now that would probably be one of their headliner announcements. Would be now all of our first party games are on PS Now the same way Xboxes are, but I don't know if they're going to do that.
I'm just talking about like their format as far as like this show, move on, show, move on, show.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, Microsoft was literally trailer back just here. It would be maybe like some like bookends, like it's Bethesda's like section of stuff, and Pete Hines was on there talking about their stuff, and then back to back Bethesda games, and then Phil Spencer came up, talked about the Xbox Game Pass and stuff, and then back to back Xbox games, and then they ended it with one more Bethesda game, which we'll get to.
Absolutely
I don't think they're
beautiful.
doing that.
You think it's gonna be too much talking still? Well, let me tell you about the history of Sony.
Yeah, because we at Sony value our players, and then just bullshit for like 5 minutes, and then they'll show something new.
Hi, I'm the creative director at whatever, and here at whatever, we love to push the PlayStation 5 to its boundaries. We're using the haptic feedback, and we're getting true 4K. Fam, show me the game.
Yeah.
Like,
And then
No,
they're gonna waste time showing stuff that already came out.
yeah, and that too.
they're gonna do it like the when you look for a recipe online, like, so you're looking how to make beef stroganoff, huh? So let me tell you, it was a cloudy day one year back in 1943. Grandpa just lost all of his fingers because of the Cold War, Dad was on a drinking binge again and beating Mom, and I just had a hankering for some beef stroganoff.
Yeah. And then the actual recipe is like literally 2 sentences, and the rest is more backstory of how to make something. That's what I'm hoping doesn't happen. So, I mean, and they have a couple weeks ahead to see what Xbox brought. So if they were going to do that, hopefully they look at this and go, we need to redo this and just show off the games. Where was I? So that was the Summer Games Fest. Then Saturday we had the Ubisoft Forward, and they opened up I think like right away with Rainbow Six Extraction, which I was all about. I enjoy what they're doing with it. It looks fun. I think it's 3 or 4 player co-op.
3.
It was 3. The idea that I like that they threw out there's like if you down one of your operators, they become a rescue mission. So let's say me, Brian, and Kelsey are playing Rainbow Six Extraction, and my character, I fuck up obviously because I'm running in there shooting like an idiot, and then I get killed. My operator that I use is now MIA or whatever because I get taken by whatever the aliens are called. I think they're called demons.
Arcaeans.
Yeah,
Arcaeans.
Arcaeans and like
Archons.
yeah, something like that.
Archaeo.
And apparently, either if you guys don't save me there, you can come. I don't know if it's we or like just you guys can come back for a rescue mission and try to get me out or get the operator out. I don't know how that works. Brian brought up a good point. Like, what if you're just so bad at the game, all your operators are gone? So like, you just can't play anymore, or what? How does that work? Is it like a time thing, or I don't know if there's like a frequently asked questions or like an interview done afterwards. But
What's the name of that game where like people play as civilians and then the other one plays as the monster? And like the person goes around like try to capture the people, and then they capture them and put them on top of that thing.
oh, Dead by Daylight.
So I'm wondering if it's like that, like where like if you get captured and you get put in that thing, because you remember when they showed it, you like attached to whatever it is, some gooky, sticky stuff or whatever it is. I'm wondering if like it's like time like that, where it's like if you don't get to them by a certain amount of time, then they like die permanently.
Oh, they say it's a different mission.
Oh,
Because remember when they're saving them, they already have 3 people, and if Brian's saying it's 3-player co-op, that means that person is not a real. That's just your operator. You have to go save so you can use him again.
okay.
Yeah, it seems like once you get downed, and they showed I don't remember who it was that got downed, and then they got hit again. Basically, like in Siege, if you were to die, that seemed like the what happened to him. You just go into stasis, and I think that person is done. There's no saving on that mission anymore. That's what it looked like.
So then after the current mission that you're doing, the next mission would be to get him back.
Mm-hmm. I think that's how they worded it. That's how I comprehended it, or like that's how I.
That's pretty cool, man.
That's why I'm excited to play it because it's just a good another mode. I thought this it's probably gonna be. I was hoping for more modes in Rainbow Six, like team deathmatch and stuff. So when they announced this, I'm like, oh, it's gonna be a new mode. And then they announced there's a separate game. I'm like, that's odd. I would imagine you can just tack this on as a on the base game, but we'll see if it's. First of all, how much it's going to cost? Because if it's just a co-op experience, that's something you can do. I hope it's not a $60 game, right?
Yeah, I hope it's like sub 40 maybe.
Maybe $40, $30 or something. Because it's just what. But what the hell do I know? Yeah, it looked really cool. I'm definitely looking forward to it. Oh man, I don't know if they said is it going to be all the operators or just chosen operators are going to be in it.
I assumed it was chosen ones, but I don't know.
Because there's already a lot of operators in the base Rainbow Six game, so this side game hopefully.
I doubt it's gonna be
start
all of
taking
them
from it.
because I don't see Maverick, the guy who makes blow torches into a wall.
I
don't see him
being useful.
make sense for a rescue mission.
I guess so. It would have to make sense. They showed off more of Riders Republic as well in the Ubisoft Forward, which again, it looks like a great idea. It looks like a place to hang out with your friends, do crazy stuff. So
There's no Mont Blanc, but
there's no Mont Blanc, but like I said the first time we saw the trailer, I think was it Game Awards last year or was it E3 last year?
I don't remember seeing that ever.
They showed
one?
this before. Riders Republic.
Rider Republic.
Yeah, it was.
I think it was
the Game Awards.
And
Yeah, I think it was in December.
And they showed it, and I'm like, oh, that looks fun. And now they just showed more gameplay of all those different like extreme sports you can do. And again, it just looks like fun, especially if you're going there with like a party just to mess around and do fun stuff. So
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna play this.
it just looks like a chill time. I don't know if I don't think it's gonna be new ranked. Like we're not going plat or anything, so
Wow.
maybe they'll add that later on. But looks like fun. They announced Mario and Rabbids, a sequel to the Mario and Rabbids game, which Brian, you said you wanted to play the first one. You didn't play it, right?
Which one?
Mario and Rabbids.
Yeah, I wanted to play it. I wanted to play it, but I didn't. That was gonna
Gotcha.
be my first Switch game. I'm like, I want to commit to this and then just absolutely hate it. Let me get a game with a bunch of time like Octopath Traveler. I had never even got all 6 people.
Jesus, Brian. You probably would have enjoyed Mario Rabbids more since you like the XCOM style. I think it's an XCOM type of game.
It looks
Strategy.
like this.
Yeah.
The second one, I'm the second one I'm probably gonna get. I doubt there's any like, yo, that's crazy lore. I gotta play the first one.
Yeah. It'd probably just be like unveiling characters along the way.
Yeah.
Like, oh, now you can
The
use
second one looked cool.
this unit. Like, I'm sure Rosalina's going to be in there, not just the baby Rose, not just the rabbit Rosalina one. So,
I just think it's funny how they always say, yo, play with your favorite Mario characters. Never show Waluigi. So whose favorite? Because not my favorite.
oof. I mean,
Rosalina, I saw a rabbit version of her. I didn't see her.
I'm sure they're going to add her. Like, I think they have regular version and rabbit versions of the people who you can play. Because I know there's a Mario, Luigi, Peach, and then their rabbit versions. I thought there was a Bowser, but I guess I don't remember if that was a real thing or just imagined it. But that's that. That's good. That means the first one made enough money for them to warrant the second one, which is great. More Far Cry 6 footage, which I'm already on board. I love my Far Cry series. It's another open world shooter that just takes up a bunch of my time because it's just a checkbox game for the most part, with usually really entertaining cutscenes. So, and characters. And then they ended it with what I did not expect, an Avatar game. And I'm not talking about water. I'm talking about the James Cameron Avatar.
Jake Sully avatar.
Jake Sully Avatar, which again I think it was like was it a pre-rendered or in-engine video? So I don't know what it was, in-engine. Yeah, so that's what they're targeting in terms of visuals and animation and stuff. It looked great in terms of like what that cutscene, but what you do in it, no idea. It might be like an asymmetric PvP thing where some people play as the humans and some people play as the avatars, or maybe you just play as the avatars. I don't know, but it has the potential to be cool. So
It looked like you could do a lot of the fairly similar stuff as what they did in the movie. It wasn't
Yeah.
clear on if you played both sides or if you were like one side fighting the other, you know. But it looked like if you got to play as the blue people, you got to like capture
Navi.
The Navi.
what?
The
The
Navi.
Navi.
they're called the Navi.
Yeah, them. So the blue people, you got to capture the things that you could fly around on.
Yeah, so that's why I don't know if it's like a PVE thing or a PvP VE thing or what. I don't know if they
Like
mentioned it as well. So.
EB games.
Oh, but anyway, it was a cool way to end their showcase. I was not expecting that from them as a. And one more
I
thing.
feel like this is gameplay, bro.
No, I said an engine though, in the beginning, which means it's just an engine running. So that's all probably scripted in whatever way they needed to. So I mean, to me, gameplay is when you turn on Twitch.tv and you see someone playing. And it's anything before that or after, that could all be just scripted stuff. That's not, that's me being very negative, I guess, on it. But yeah, I was expecting Ubisoft to end it with like a Splinter Cell or something, because everyone's been asking, when's the next Splinter Cell? When's Splinter Cell? Where's Sam Fisher at? They keep putting him in all these other games, and now he has a TV show. Like, I was expecting that to be like their, one more thing instead of Avatar, but this was pretty cool too. And then we move on to Xbox and Bethesda, Sunday afternoon. Holy shite. I came at it in midway through, so the order of this is a little weird. I came in like right before they announced Forza Horizon 5, which I was ecstatic over because I thought this was going to be Motorsport, because they usually alternate. It's usually Motorsport, then Horizon, then Motorsport and Horizon. Horizon 4 came out like, a year or two ago? So I was expecting this to be a Motorsport announcement. Boy, was I wrong, and thank God I was wrong. They showed off Horizon 5. It's going to be take place in Mexico. The game is running in 4K 60. It looks that's probably the best looking game we've seen so far. Because
Dude, that challenge course thing looks awesome, where they're running through the giant bowling pins and doing like flips and shit. Like, that looks amazing.
they added like a sandbox mode where you can create your own modes so you can make weird, fun stuff if you're once you're done with the main game, which I'm assuming it's just gonna be a bunch of races, just like Horizon 4 was, like arcadey races, obviously, not like motorsport. So yeah, it looks fantastic. I can't wait to play it. I love Horizon 4, and that's the first thing I come back to is Horizon 5, and I'm like, yes. Starfield was shown, sort of. It was like another in-engine video. So I'm assuming that's what they're targeting. And if that's what they're targeting, great. They're using the new engine at Bethesda Creation Engine 2. So with that, I'm assuming brace yourselves when the game comes out. It's gonna be buggy because new engine, completely new game, new IP. Just get ready for that. But either way, the player model looks great. The animations look a lot more, human than the old Creation Engine games like Fallout and Skyrim, where everyone walked pretty robotic or the same. The effects look cool, but the moment-to-moment gameplay was not shown, so we don't know what you'll be able to do. They're targeting next year, November 11th, for the release date, but like I said before, we don't know if that's gonna land. So technically, yes, they showed Starfield, but no, they didn't.
I really like it is like the bane of my existence of these companies that create games and they're like, let me show you all of the videos that are gonna play.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, but how does the game play? But look at how pretty it looks. It's pre-rendered bullshit. I don't give a shit about that.
Mm-hmm.
But look at how pretty it looks.
Hold up now.
What?
I agree with what you're saying, but it's not bull.
It is bull. It doesn't do it like
with context. It is bullshit.
Like it's so many games that are like they pre-render everything and build this like massive, beautiful looking, environment, and then you play the game and it's like playing fucking Tomb Raider back on the PlayStation where her tits are just like triangles. Like it's crap.
Pervert.
In the context of it's a gaming show and you need to show new games, that is bullshit. Show me how does it, what am I doing in it? Not these cinematic things. Like, you can have it in the game, but show me what you're doing, What can you do? What can you not do? But, I mean, it's just the nature of the beast. We're going to be, that's just how it works. Nowadays it's in-engine footage, and then we hope that they hit it when it releases. Unfortunately. Oh, Stalker 2 was not only like they showed gameplay inside, some great animation. They had a nice little cinematic trailer for it. They showed some moment-to-moment combat. They didn't show like all the crafting and stuff and like maintenance and stuff. It's just a pretty action-based trailer, which looked great. Environments look fantastic. Gun models look great. The gunplay looks okay. But it's like a I don't know. I think it's still single player because the previous Stalker games were single player. Say it's like you're a survival game in I think somewhere in Russia. I think he's going to Pripyat or something like that, and there's anomalies that are around the world that can just body you. It looks great. I played a little bit.
The environments, man, they've been getting better and better and better in games, man. They look like,
with the new photo. What is it?
Photogrammetry.
Yeah, photogrammetry, whatever the heck technique they use. They just take super high res photos and then model it from that. That workflow is getting into a lot of games, and it's producing some stunning environments. So
that was English. I'm really interested in playing Stalker 2. I guess I want to know. I wonder if it's mandatory to play the ones before, like if it's an ongoing story. If that's the case, I'm gonna be intimidated to start it. But Stalker 2, from what I saw, just looked like a bunch of fun. It felt like a darker Fallout.
You'd have 3 games to get through, and I think it is a more dark. Well, because you're comparing Fallout with what it looks like and how it runs with how Stalker 2 is running. Like it's.
I don't mean like visually. I mean like I guess world.
I
mean, they both have the same elements. They have. It's post-apocalyptic. There's, ghouls in Fallout, which are friendly ghouls and like eat enemy ghouls, and they'll attack you. Here they don't have ghouls. They just have fucking creatures that'll attack you.
but like I don't know, with Fallout, everything felt not arcadey. Like it's post-apocalyptic, but with like a do what you want kind of like undertone. This one feels like you, everything wants you dead. Survive. That's what it feels. That was like the gist I got from it.
Well, there's also a survival element to it. I think you have to. Don't quote me. I think there is some sort of like energy meter and stuff, and like either health or something that you have to maintain because it goes down gradually.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't remember. That could be me just adding shit to it.
Who makes Stalker 2?
I don't remember the dev studio. They made 3. If it's the same studio, they made 3 other Stalker games before.
I'm
That
just
one that
curious,
made the Stalker game.
Yeah, but I don't remember the studio name. I apologize.
I
I'm
made
just
it.
curious what engine they use.
Most
Number
likely,
9.
it's most likely built for them, but I don't remember.
They just recommended the trailer to me so I can look at the GSC games.
Yeah, GSC Game World is the people who made it, and all they've made so far. Not all they made. They made all the Stalker games. A series called Cossacks, Heroes of Annihilated
Cossacks?
Empires. Cossacks. There's 2 S's. So I don't know. So yeah, they have a bunch of games under their belt, but I'm pretty sure it's a proprietary engine, but I don't know for sure. And then finally, some gameplay of Battlefield 2042.
I gotta look. It's kind of deviating from what we're talking about, but not really, because this reminded me of a certain thing that I'm about to mention. What is the first game? This is a little history. What is the first game that you recommended me to play?
Me?
Yes.
No, I'm not gonna remember that. Sorry. The first game that I
At
recommended
least
you.
try.
Is it? I'm assuming BioShock or something.
I don't. Yeah, I don't know when I started recommending you games.
It's an FPS.
Probably BioShock. I would imagine.
Mm-mm.
Clearly, one of the Battlefield games.
No, I don't think I've ever. Once he said he doesn't like the FPS multiplayer games, we just jump in and die over and over again. I never recommended him any of the FPS game I play, because that's the kind of FPS games I play where you can just jump in, turn your brain off, shoot things, and get off. Sign off of the game.
I give you a hint. It has to do with
Why not both?
aliens.
Has something to do with aliens.
Mm-hmm.
Can I recommend
Clearly,
a long time ago?
Mm-hmm.
Mass Effect?
Mm-mm.
That would have been a Brian recommendation, not me.
Yeah. Nah.
I don't know, man. I don't.
Actually, when you recommended it to me, obviously you was living like
In the apartment.
It was years ago.
Yeah.
When you was living with your mom.
Yeah. That's why I'm not going to remember what game I recommended you. The first one specifically? No.
Yeah, this was the very first game that you recommended. You was like, "Yo, you should play." Matter of fact, you just handed it to me. You was like, "You should play this."
Is it the When Mars Attacks or whatever?
Nah. And I was like, I don't really play FPS games. You was like, but trust me, this is good.
Resistance.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought you played this before me.
Huh?
I thought you played
Give me an applause.
I got you, bro. Hold on.
So, in the Stalker 2 trailer, the guy at the end is a guy that's on a roof and he's like looking out in the distance talking.
Yeah.
It reminded me when Hell was like
turning.
Yeah.
And you had to take care of him.
Yeah.
You saw, Brenda, that they canceled Resistance 4, right? I don't remember if you cared after the fact of Hale's story ending, but
I have after Hell died, I didn't I stopped after that.
Me and Brian started playing the third one the third one co-op, but I don't think we finished it, dude, right? Like
I remember enjoying myself. I just don't remember why we just stopped playing.
I think we stopped because something else came out. Like that was a game we were just like, oh, what do we do? We were just hanging out in the apartment. We're like, oh, let's just keep playing a little bit more Resistance, and we just played it like when we didn't have anything else. Because we were probably balancing Guild Wars, some other stuff.
We playing Mass Effect again, you know.
Yeah, and you were playing Mass Effect a bunch because you were getting all the achievements on Xbox. So you were replaying it like on the hardest difficulty and shit. So, and Street Fighter 4.
It's so funny to me, like how stupid I am, because I hated that game from the original one, Like vanilla Street Fighter 4, I bought every other version that came
Yep,
out.
arcade mode, championship, arcade edition.
It
What
was
the other one?
super. It was super. Hold on, vanilla, super, arcade,
And the
ultra.
championship. Oh, ultra. It was ultra. You're right.
Don't forget the
Championship
Toyota Director's Edition.
Yeah, man.
And I bought each one.
It's because we always because that's when we were watching tournaments more frequently, so we were getting hype after like, oh, they announced another one, more characters, lit. Let's keep we keep it going, and then we watched a bunch of tournaments with it. It was dope. What was I?
You was talking about Stalker.
Battlefield.
Oh, Battlefield. Thank you. Yeah. Last Thursday they just showed off like another in-engine trailer that showed off some weird, fun, some cool stuff at like Battlefield moments happening. And I'm like, oh, that's cool, but where's the gameplay? And they're like, oh, gameplay on Sunday. And I'm like, okay. And then they showed it off during Xbox's and Bethesda's showcase. Showed a bunch of gameplay. It looks beautiful as always because it's running, I think, on the Frostbite. Thank you. The gunplay looks fine. I'm not a vehicle person, but the vehicle stuff look okay. The only thing that worries me is those destructive events like the tornadoes and shit. And I'm like, I don't know if that's gonna be fun. But it's another modern-ish Battlefield, and the last one they made was Battlefield 4, and Battlefield 4 was fantastic. So that was modern anyway. This one's, I guess, the future one, but not that too far off. So I'm excited for it. I hope they don't shit the bed. They don't have a campaign for it, and I think they're not doing a battle royale mode as well. So this is just strictly multiplayer. So if you're just doing one type of, I hope this thing just decimates. Because you don't have to worry about campaign or battle royale. Just get that multiplayer feeling great.
Battlefield. Hugo just reminded me that Battlefield 4 is currently free on Twitch. If you have Prime.
Oh, okay. Then I highly recommend that. If you do not own Battlefield 4 in any way, shape, or form, and you have Twitch Prime Gaming, get it. Claim it. Play it. It's fantastic. Battlefield 4 is fantastic. So attach your Twitch account to EA's, whatever, get the drop, get the free game. It's fantastic. All right.
You think this is all pre-rendered?
No, it might be running in the engine, but it's just an animation that doesn't. That's just some animation that's running.
It's in the engine, but I'm just saying, like, do you think? Because I'm not familiar with the Battlefield games, so I don't know how they look. But I'm just wondering.
There's gameplay out. Why don't you watch the gameplay one?
For 2042?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about just now, man.
Oh, I didn't know this gameplay was out for.
That's what I was saying. That's the Thursday reveal, which was that crazy cinematic stuff, and then yesterday, today's Monday. As yesterday of the recording, they showed gameplay off. So, and it was really, just can't wait to play it. It's gonna be great.
Found an article about Starfield that was written today.
Is it bad or
updated
good?
today? I mean, it says that Bethesda says Starfield will be like a Han Solo simulator. NASA meets Indiana Jones, and unsurprisingly, Skyrim.
So does that mean we're gonna be playing like? Sorry, Brian. Does it mean we're gonna be playing like No Man's Sky, like traveling between planets, or are we just gonna be a bounty hunter? Like, what does that mean? That doesn't tell me much. Like, how much exploring are we gonna do? Because they keep saying we're gonna be able to explore. And is it
So in Starfield, you play as a new recruit to the Constellation program, a group of space explorers seeking answers to the big mysteries of space, some 300 years in the future. It's kind of like Skyrim in terms of the structure of the game and where you're going to be, who you want to be, and then there's different factions you can join and really carve your own path.
Okay, that makes sense. Like the Thieves Guild of Skyrim and like the magic people, the School of the Magic and stuff.
Your character's background will affect the story, among other things, but they don't really say much else.
Okay, well, I guess since
they showed, I'm kind of disappointed visually. In my head, I was hoping it was not the same thing with all their games, which is desaturated land, and then that's what you're looking at most of the time. I was hoping it looked more like, I was picturing Prey, Skyrim Prey in my head. Like, it plays like Skyrim, looks like Prey, is what I was.
You have to keep in mind, what they showed, he was on the moon. So, like, of course it's going to look desaturated. There's nothing there but gray.
No, but even then, like, the sky, like, whatever they show for the sky, it all looks just washed.
What
And
you should look at the part of the trailer when he was inside. Like the gun he puts on the table, it's like bright yellow with like a LED indicators on it. There was colorful weapons.
You talking about Starfield?
Yeah, like
Yeah.
the interior of the spaceship had vibrant colors in it. It's
But
just,
yeah, it looked. I mean, at least on my phone, it looked beautiful.
but like
I don't
the
know.
environment was great because he was on the moon. So
I think maybe it just looked vibrant in comparison, but I don't know. I wanted it to look like they just ported over land from other games and then said it was the moon and then said Starfield.
okay,
It could just be me thinking that Bethesda games, like those kind of games, just look hideous, but they're really fun.
I mean it's a new engine, so they're banking a lot on we're using creation engine 2 on it. It's gonna be a bigger game, et cetera, et cetera. So let's hope it pans out. I'm sure they're
Still
gonna have
probably
like a
don't get
deep.
it, but
If they're targeting November of next year, we're not going to see like a full gameplay deep dive until like next year. So maybe Game Awards or something, but we'll see. Unless Gamescom, but that's not really a place where they usually show that off. I think. Psychonauts 2, more gameplay were shown off. If you're a fan of Psychonauts, this looks like it's more of it. I can't wait to play it because the first one, I came in late to the Psychonauts train, played it years and years after it came out, loved it. And then when they announced there was going to be another one, I was excited. And the game looks fun, action platformer for the most part. Looks great. Not much to say about that. You guys all play Psychonauts 2? Or Psychonauts 1? Not 2.
I did.
I don't think so. I feel like I own Psychonauts, but I don't know if I've ever played it. I think it was one of those that was like part of a bundle from.
Like Combo Bundle or something?
Yeah.
I recommend it, especially if you like the action, like platformers, action adventure. The comedy's is there. It's cool.
I'm happy it's coming out and everything, but I feel like I've kind of lost any kind of excitement for it.
Because
Like I'm not dying to play it. I just hope it does well.
It's one of those when it comes out, and I'll play it. Like I'm not like holding my breath or anything. There's a game called Somerville that they showed off that I thought was pretty interesting. It looks like a Limbo / Inside type of game, but you play as like the father in a family of 4 or something. And it has a very eerie feel to it. I don't know. It just looks fun. I don't know much besides you can run around as like a platformer / adventure game. So it looks cool. Can't wait to try it out. And then they had today, I guess we'll be jumping between, so that way we can stay with Xbox, a multiplayer overview of Halo that they showed off today. And man, the multiplayer looks fun. Because remember that fucking, what is it? That they showed off for the single player? The grapple hook? It's in the multiplayer. And you can grapple guns to you, explosives so you can throw back, you can move around, the
You
mobility.
can even grab stuff off the ground.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like if you see a gun you want, you go whoop and pull it over to you. The movement, you can swing into another platform if you need to get somewhere. There's like a small clip of the guy just looking up, grappling himself upward because there's like a roof, and in midair snipes a guy out of nowhere. Like I'm like, oh shit! Like you can do some crazy. You got to be looking everywhere. They announced some other like content-wise announcements. It's free to play, so the multiplayer will be free to play, so it can, I guess, have its own platform and grow as years go on with the season passes, the battle passes. But I think once you buy Infinite, you have access to both anyway. So I don't know. The Infinite will be the solo campaign. I don't know if they're pricing it as one $60 bundle or something. I don't know how that's gonna work, but that's available. A cool thing they announced for the battle passes for Halo was once you buy the battle pass, everything in it is yours forever. So like you can, let's say you buy season 1 battle pass, but you didn't get everything before the next season comes out, you can still use progress for the first season and unlock everything in that battle pass. You know how like
Oh, that's nice.
yeah, so you know how like Fortnite and Apex, like, oh, you bought the battle pass, but you have to like fucking grind the entire time to get everything before the next season starts. That's not a thing now. So like if there's a season pass, like, oh, I want that someday, you can buy the season pass and get to it whenever you get to it. and it's
Especially
all
if you have 2 season passes you didn't finish, do they both get XP or does one get one at a time?
the way they mentioned it is that you choose where do you want the progress to go. So that way you're not forced to just like grind the game out. And it's a good, I guess it's a good way for like analytically for them. It's like, oh, everyone bought this season pass because I had this kind of stuff in it. I guess it'll be like a great gauge for them in the future. So like, oh, everyone bought this one because it had crazy shit. They went over the customization in it. They went over customizing that. You can customize your warthog, your I think there's skins for the guns, but I'm not entirely sure. All your armor plates and stuff you can swap with prosthetic arms now to look like the chick from Reach. Cat was her name. Thank you. I heard it was and I'm like, I don't know what he said to me.
Cat.
What else? The Battle Pass stuff was the big thing. Anything they're going to be selling on the Battle Pass is cosmetics only, which we all know now. That's like the norm now. They're not going to have any more loot boxes like they did in, I think, 5. They're just switching over to Battle Pass. And the way they're doing their Battle Pass I like a lot, so another W for them.
I like the Battle Pass way more than loot boxes. Like, I would rather have a known end, you know, rather than like, oh, let me grind out the game for, 4,000 hours and just roll and roll and roll and roll and roll and roll and just never get anything. No, I want to fucking know that I'm going to get this at some point.
Yeah. And then them announcing that you own everything in the Battle Pass. Not own, but like you can get it and not have to worry about finishing the Battle Pass before the next one starts. I think that's a huge move. And I hope that other Battle Royales or other Battle Passes do the same thing from now on, which is like Apex and Fortnite. Oh, and they also promise like they're not gonna like try to squeeze more cash out of you. So if you see a cosmetic item in the Battle Pass, they're not gonna sell it in the store later on. Like if it's in the Battle Pass, you can only get it from the Battle Pass. So I think Fortnite got into some issue where like there was like a Battle Pass item that was then put into this like their store or whatever that they can just buy.
That's crazy.
Or maybe it was Apex. Someone did that, and that's probably why they made it like a note to say that.
Apex did that, where you can. I think Apex did that, where you can like buy, gain the in-game currency and then buy stuff from the store, like cosmetics and whatever.
But they're saying like stuff that you get that's in the Battle Pass will not appear in the store. As if, like, let's say you bought a Battle Pass in Apex, you didn't get to the thing you wanted, but then later on it'll be in the store to buy. So
no, Apex didn't do that.
Okay. That they announced it. I don't know why they had to say that, but I'm sure that's probably like a W on their end. So I mean, from the multiplayer preview, it looks great. I like the move to free to play. I like what they're doing with the Battle Pass. They're saying the right things, So hopefully the multiplayer is fun and somewhat balanced, and not people just destroying each other with like 1 or 2 guns.
Give me ranked SWAT again.
They also have a bunch of equipment like the grapple hook. There's like a shield thing that you can use. Oh, the parry thing. Yeah, they announced this weird thing you can put on your forearm, and the guy parried an energy attack, pistol. And I'm like, holy, yeah, plasma pistol full charge, and then threw it back at him somehow, which was a really cool equipment. The shield that you can put on yourself, but you can place in front of you. They made the equipment droppable. So let's say Brian picks up the shield, but I kill him before he can use it. I can now pick it up and use it myself instead of it being part of your class kind of thing, like in 4? Was it 4 or 3? It might have been 3.
4. It wasn't Halo 3.
It was 4 that introduced all those equipment and stuff?
It was Reach.
Oh, Reach, that's what it was.
Loadouts.
Yeah. So
I hated Reach multiplayer, dude.
That's fair. Not a lot of people did, I think. But I don't remember. Back in the day, I wasn't really the premier journalist that I am right now, Square had theirs as well. They showed off the 2 things I wrote on here that they showed off was go for it.
Did you know that you can tether 2 people?
No. You mean tether 2 people?
Like this guy jumped in the air and shot the gauntlet at the guy and pulled himself to it. Pulled himself to the guy.
Oh yeah, you can do that. The way you said it, I thought you meant like
2 people together.
Yeah, I'm like that's just Cause can do that, but I don't know. Yeah, but they showed it off in the single player. In the single player, he grapple hooked himself to one of the enemies, so I would imagine it would work the same way. Which I wonder if that stuns the person you're grappling, or does it just let you know that you're getting grappled?
Did it pull him to the guy or the guy to him?
Him to
It
the
pulled
guy.
him to the guy.
Because that would be disorienting. If you're just running, all of a sudden you just start flying out of this, like, just flying into the air. So I would imagine they kept it so, like, you fly to them.
They might have it like Apex where you can still act even though someone hooked to you.
Hook to you. Right. They have animations as well. New animation for assassinations, Kelsey, so they got you covered.
Sweet.
I think like a 10 seconds into the overview, it's some dude just grappling, landing on the dude, and then assassinating him. And I'm like, well, Kelsey's playing.
I mean, is there any other way to kill people?
You say it now, so you get a clean one tap in SWAT mode. All right, like when you get like you turn a corner and then just and it says killed. I'm like, who's a god? You know?
I still have more kills, more assassinations than I have gun kills in Reach. So
That's fair. I mean, you love those animations, though. And it is satisfying to get like a good ass animation on someone who's not looking. But it's like, bro, you didn't watch your ass, you know? All right, so for the Square one, they showed a bunch of Final Fantasy mobile stuff there. I think they're remaking 1, 2, and 3. Not remaking, like 1 through 6, and like updating the sprites and stuff. They showed off a Guardians of the Galaxy game made by the people who made Tomb Raider. So it's like a single player action adventure, just like the Tomb Raider games.
With narrative choices.
So we'll see how that turns out. It looked like a fun time. Just a one playthrough kind of thing. I don't think there's any multiplayer, or they didn't show any multiplayer, which is, I think, a good move. And then, probably one of the worst trailers I have ever seen, because the writing was just, holy shit.
I thought you meant that was your favorite game you couldn't wait for.
I mean, the gameplay looked fun, but I forgot what it was called. It was a Final Fantasy Origins game.
I mean, the whole time you kept saying Game of the Year. It was kind of annoying.
It was chaos, is what they were saying over and over again. Because
Yeah.
I need you to watch that trailer and tell me that you had a fantastic time watching that trailer.
So
Let me know.
I looked
It's
it up.
pretty-
I was like, "What the fuck is this?" And
The gameplay looks
You
fun,
know.
looks fast paced action, like it looks cool. But the cutscenes that they showed on that trailer, I'm like, I don't care about the story anymore. Like you said chaos 17 times in a conversation with a guy. Like
The
it's
story's pretty subliminal though. They don't really tell you what the whole point of the main character is, which I found interesting.
yeah, it was oof. Again, the combat looks fun. The characters I don't know anything about, so I can't really judge the characters. But the cutscenes they showed, stop. Johan in the chat says he's gonna play it. Yeah, like I said, the combat they showed in the trailer.
Obligated to play it.
Yeah, it's funny as hell, bro. Yeah, we were laughing at it, but I'm like, this is not. Why would I was laughing and like, why did you choose to show this kind of thing? You know, and chaos. And then the guy's like, I am chaos. And he's like, oh, I'm here to kill chaos. And then chaos. I'm like, shut up, bro.
He's like,
Like,
aren't you that warrior we were told about? That's not me anymore. I'm chaos. And he went to the screen and then like, oh, that's the game.
it was so
So-
like,
It's
what?
weird. It's weird because there's 3 characters shown, like the protagonist side.
Yeah.
2 people who look like knights, right? The guy who all he's done in his life is get ready to fight chaos. Regular fucking t-shirt, walks up with a sword.
Yeah.
yeah, the guy. So I'm looking at the screenshot, and I'm scrolling through this E3 article, and it's like, so the three characters that they're showing are Paul Walker, Ninja with pink hair, and Mike Epps, and that's what you get. And like the main character is just like, he doesn't look anything like the other two. He's just some badass looking dude wearing a normal t-shirt with some gloves and pants on and a massive fucking sword. And that's it. Meanwhile, the 2 guys in the back are decked out in like
Armor.
standard Final Fantasy gear, you know, ready to fuck some shit up. And they're like, nah, man, we're going to follow that guy.
The main character you play as looks like they went to the Unreal store and picked up some fucking model. They're like, that looks pretty cool. We'll use that as placeholder and forgot to swap the model. Oh my gosh. But again, I don't know what they're thinking with the aesthetic there. Again, the action looked like it was sort of it can stand its own. Whether or not it does, I have no idea because I think it was no HUD, so I don't know if it's actually like Kingdom Hearts where it's just slamming one button, or is it like a Platinum Games where you can do some combos?
It looks like looking at the trailers that they were showing, or that I found anyway. It looks like kind of a Final Fantasy 15 style
type of situation there.
Yeah, where you actually do combinations and looks like they have some ending cutscene type animations where you destroy them with a fatality type thing.
Gotcha.
It looked more like a Souls paced kind of game to me.
Yeah.
At least.
So that was the things that that's what they ended their show with, by the way, was chaos.
Yeah.
They not show anything for 16?
Nope. Unfortunately, that's what we were hoping to see, but not a peep.
These
For 16.
cutscenes look so bad. It looks like some, like you said, some generic. They're like, yeah, just put that guy in. We'll replace it later. Did we ever replace that guy?
Nope.
Oh well, too late now.
Yep. You're not even hearing it though, are you? You're just watching it.
No, I'm just watching it.
You need to hear. I need you to witness when we're done here. Play it with audio and tell me when you get fed up with the word chaos. There's just it bugged me. It really did because I'm like, you're ending your show with this.
The main character looks like he used to be a Marine, and he retired, and now he's being pulled back into some bullshit. You know, like the movies where they're like, only you could do this. You're the only one with the credentials, even though there's SEAL Team 6 people all over the military. They're like, no, that guy's gonna do it.
The Rambo of the crew. You're like, oh,
yes.
No one can touch Rambo, so let's go get him again. The guy's like 96, and he's like, but you sure? There's no one else? All right.
All right. Well, I'll leave this up to hopefully remind myself after the thing. But you may have to just send. I'll ask you about it. You may have to just send me the video and make sure it's the right one.
The right one, because that's what bugged me. Like, if you want to have this game, it's fine. It looked okay, but you end I was expecting Final Fantasy 16 to be the ending. Like, oh, one more thing, and then bam, some gameplay, something. Nah, bro, let's end it with chaos. So I'm like, come on, Square.
You
Like,
didn't tell me
Show any Dragon Quest either.
yeah, they didn't show any Dragon Quest. Yeah, Square publishes Dragon Quest. I don't think there was any, or maybe there was, and I don't remember it.
There was no Dragon Quest whatsoever.
Like, none of their big RPGs. Octopath, I think, wasn't even shown. Not Octopath. Which is the one that's still in development? Is it Octopath Traveler 2?
It's not Bravely Default 2, is it?
Or Bravely...
I thought that was already
out.
Yeah.
Square already showed what they needed to before E3, I guess. Don't have I guess they wanted... I think what they wanted to show was the Marvel Guardians of the Galaxy... Wow. Guardians of the Galaxy game.
So, you're talking about using the word chaos too much?
Yeah.
When the Demon Hunter... When they were releasing the Demon Hunter for Diablo 3, I wish I could find you the video. Because,
it exists,
they basically had, 53 different ways to say that demon hunters like to hunt demons. And that was the entire video. They, didn't talk about the skills or anything. They were like, demon hunters like hunting demons because hunting demons is what a demon hunter does because demon hunters like hunting demons. And that demon hunters are born hunting demons because they're slayers of demons, hunters because they like hunting demon. Yeah, that was it was like a 5 full fucking minute video of them saying demon hunters like to hunt demons in multiple different ways.
Kelsey, I bet you that is somewhere on YouTube. The internet will not let that die if that's a thing. It's somewhere.
My question is, are they doing this on purpose? Are they conscious of what they're,
Oh, they have to be. I told Adam, I said...
But it's a difference between, so you know how you guys, look at movies that are not considered really good, but you look at it because you know it's going to be...
purposely a parody or something.
How do you usually word it in a certain way? It's so bad that it's funny.
Yeah.
So you go into watching these movies with this pretense of I know this is going to be bad, but it's probably going to be funny.
Gotcha. So we can laugh at it together.
And you guys have also said that the people who make these movies, they make these movies for those intentions to get those type of reactions.
Some people do.
So is that category, and then there's the category of this is awesome. and them thinking that it's awesome, but it really isn't awesome.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering, like, people who make like trailers or games or stuff like that, like what Kelsey's talking about, is like, did they release this like, oh man, this is really going to be awesome, and nobody said this is stupid?
Because sometimes you create in a bubble, and if you don't like get input from other people, you just make it and then be like, all right, we're good, send it out, and then when you see it side by side with someone else's stuff, you're like, oh, we should have checked the temperature outside before releasing this.
That game might also sound better in Japanese. Maybe the English one made it realize how stupid the script was.
Maybe. That's also true.
Visually, there's no excuse.
I feel like some of those things that slip through the cracks is they're like, just get Anthony to write it. Just he's fine.
He'll
and then it like
fine.
never gets like reviewed, and then it shows up and you're like, so demon hunters love hunting demons. Demon hunters love hunting demons is demon slayers, demon hunters' favorite thing to do. And you're just like, did anybody fucking proofread this? Like, why?
You remind me of the kid who stutters. Like, you guys know when
You ever dream?
you ever dream when you dream and that kid is just going off. In his head he hears a beat and he's going off on it, and we're like, is that kid okay?
To him in his mind, he's almost there.
Yeah.
He's about to get it out.
And we're-
but he doesn't realize it's been 5 minutes done went by. He still hasn't said it.
Yeah. Shoot. I don't know. Again,
I keep telling Adam that we need to make a game, and then for just like the entire time, just do nothing but like,
milestones.
but with like the demon hunters love hunting demons thing.
You'll go viral probably because that's funny stuff. The internet will never let you forget that. It's got to be somewhere. If you can find it, you got to send me that.
I looked for it at one point, but have not had any luck finding that specific video. But I will definitely see if I can find it.
That's fair. And that's about it for all the stuff I wrote down that I wanted to speak on. I don't know. There's a bunch of indie games that came out. Like I said, it's called Dark something. I'm gonna regret it now because that's something I wanted you guys to check out. You might like.
What
Indie
which,
Fire Emblem.
showcase was it?
This morning, the indie showcase.
That's what it was called, Indie Showcase?
Yeah, I think so. Dark Deity is the game. So you guys can go look that up. Dark Deity is the indie game. It's like Fire Emblem. Looks really cool. Guys might enjoy it.
I hate it.
Oh, okay. Well, me and Brian saw what?
I haven't seen it yet.
There were some other like indie games that they were showing off throughout the weekend that I'm like, oh, that looks pretty dope. There's a straight up Pokemon clone called Coralmon. I think it is. It's gonna be released on PC and Switch that I saw today, and I'm like, yeah, that looks pretty cool. Actually, it looks just like a Pokemon game. So if you're into that, there's a bunch of farming like simulator games that were shown, like anime ones, like or cartoon sprited ones. What else? Anything? Oh, what was it? The Replaced. I forgot to write that down. Replaced looks really cool. If you guys haven't seen it, it was on the Xbox's showcase. What else? There's a lot of cool announcements. Sadly, Ubisoft Plus is not on Game Pass because that would have been fantastic. But once the show ended, I'm like, why didn't they add it? I went to go check. Ubisoft Plus is $15 a month, which is why I can see why they didn't roll it into it. Because EA, the tier that we have for EA's is $5.
Gotcha.
So that's cheaper to roll in. But to add a $15 service to Game Pass, they would have to increase the Game Pass price. And I'm sure they're not going to do that because they're racking in the money right now. So they're just going to get everyone signed in first.
I mean, I'm surprised they don't offer tiers like what EA does, where you have like the $5 one and then the $15 one.
And it will include like EA Play and Ubisoft Plus. Yeah, I'm right there with you.
Pretty sure EA does have tiers in a different way though, where they just make the community let down.
They do. They have tiers. Like the first one is the one that's rolled, which is just EA Play, and that's rolled into the Game Pass, and it has a bunch of. Joke. Oh, my bad. What was the joke?
That they disappoint their community, and that's why there's tiers.
Oh, okay. I see what you did there. Oh, shite. And that's pretty much it. Unless you guys have any other game that you guys want to speak on that you guys saw over the weekend.
I can't believe they didn't have anything about
On
16.
Same.
Dragon Quest, like a slew of other things that they could have, showed.
Like they had Final Fantasy stuff, but it wasn't the like 7 remake or 16 or like it wasn't. Oh, they showed off the Battle Royale game. Talk about Skatebird. Skatebird is another indie game that you literally play as birds skateboarding. It's great. It's just that, and I saw it showed gameplay of them doing it. I'm like, okay, that's what you do. There's another game called Ramen, Rawmen, Rawmen, and you play as ramen cooks shooting and killing each other with like their sauces and stuff and their pots. It's great. What else? I think that was most of it. Randall's over here buying games on Steam. What's going on, bro?
Nah, because I thought I added replaced to my wish list, but I don't see it on here.
Because I think it was an Xbox
I don't think it's on Steam. It is on Steam.
Yeah, apparently it is on Steam, so you can add it.
You remember if it was on Game Pass?
Everything that they showed, I think, was on Game Pass, besides like 3 games.
I put it on my wish list just to remember when it comes out. But
We didn't talk about the new Bethesda announced a new IP at the end of the showcase, which was
that Bite Back game or whatever.
Yeah, that's the motto.
Oh, Redfall.
Redfall, yes, it's like a 4-player shooter. You shooting up vampire. I think vampires is gonna be the next thing coming up, because we saw like multiple games it's just you up against vampires, or you're a vampire, or whatever the hell it is.
Or Masquerade and stuff.
Yeah, like Masquerade has another spin-off game called Snowfall. No, Swan Song.
Yeah, you got it.
Or Songbird or some shit.
No, I just told you got it.
I'm gonna keep guessing. Jackal? Was it Jackal?
I'm canceling you.
Oh shit! Joke's on you. I've been canceled. Yeah, so the new IP looks pretty cool. It was all pre-rendered stuff, so we don't know how the moment to moment is. I hope they have more gameplay for it later. I'll be down to play that. They showed more Back 4 Blood. They showed off the PvP modes, just like Left 4 Dead had a PvP, where one team plays the survivors, the other team plays the infected. They showed that off during the week. Dying Light 2, wish more gameplay of that. Oh, that's something I want to critique here. I didn't like that they had the same game with different announcements throughout the week. So Dying Light 2 was on there like 7 times in like 8 different shows, showing one little thing extra. Fam, why? What else did I see? Sable, I think is the indie game where it's like in the desert and you look and you have like that speeder thing, like 20 times throughout the week. Give me the chunk of information and then we move on. There's so many shows that they're taking up time of the same thing we saw earlier that week. Chernobylite, I think I saw like 17 times. And I guess that it worked. That's marketing, and that's how I know it, because I saw them like 20 different times. What else? I'm trying to think of the stuff that stood out, but that list that we just went through is what stood out for me.
On my Steam list, I added Planet of Lana.
Oh, that's the hand-drawn adventure game? Okay.
Yeah. And replaced.
So yeah, Planet of Lana looked really cool too, because it was like a hand-drawn side-scroller action adventure, I think, so. Oh, there's another game that me and Brian love. So there's this you play as a character who moves back into town to become a mailman, and you get to learn about all the people living in it. You deliver mail. You know, it's a very chill game, right?
What game is that?
It's called Lake.
It's on Steam?
That's not what you should be asking me. You should be asking me, why is it called Lake? When everything I just described to you had nothing to do with Lake.
Because maybe it does as you progress through the story.
Do I just start swimming in the lake? I'm a mailman.
Maybe that's where the body is at. I don't know.
It doesn't seem like that type of game. You're right. It could just be like a thing that's part of it.
I hope not, because it was part of the wholesome game block or whatever.
There's a showcase of wholesome games, and that was part of it. Which means there's like there's no like killing each other. There's no like demonic stuff. It's just like feel good games.
And you're a mailman?
A male woman, yeah. And you just go around delivering stuff. You can do activities after your shift.
And it's called
Lake. No, just Lake.
Lake?
One lake, random.
Yeah, just one.
Just one.
It's like Goose, but
yeah.
Maybe it's the character's name?
Maybe, but the logo is like the word lake and then trees behind it.
I don't know, man.
It just threw me and Brian off. We were watching this and I'm like, oh, this looks like a pretty cool game. You just, mailman driving around this city, just hanging out. Lake, and then fade to black. I'm like, what? Weird.
It's clearly about snakes.
Yeah. There is... Randall, are you the one that... No, Brian's the one that doesn't like stop motion, right?
I don't hate it. It's just I really dislike Wallace and Gromit, for anyone who wondered how I felt about that.
Okay. But Kelsey and Randall, you guys are okay with stop motion?
Yeah, that was the whole.
Yeah, I don't mind stop motion.
Sticky bones.
Oh, there's a game called Harold Hubert, Harold Hubert or whatever, and it's a game coming out that's I think done with stop motion and it looks really cool. So if you guys want to check that out,
What is it called?
Harold Hubert, something like that.
What is a animated movie film?
No, it's a game, but
Oh,
it's
it's a
made
game?
in the same style. Like they made the models with
It's on
clay and
Steam?
stuff. I think so, because it's in the game. So that's how me and Brian found out what games were indie or not. Because at the end of it, it would say wish list on Steam.
Mm-hmm.
And then like the big budget guys don't even bother putting other. Just like, oh, it's on sale on Steam. Oh, Johan said that Final Fantasy 14 is indeed on Steam. So make sure to go grab that. Halibut. Thank you. Halibut? Harold Halibut. Halibut. Yeah, that looks really cool.
Speaking of Final Fantasy, they had all the current expansions for like $20. You get all of it.
Uh-huh.
And I was tempted to. I just didn't.
That's fair.
That's all I got to say.
Oh, okay. That's fair. Oh, Hades was announced for console release, and it's day and date on Xbox Game Pass. So if you have not played Hades, it's going to be on the Game Pass for, I think, both the PC Game Pass and the Xbox Game Pass. You have zero excuses now, besides I don't have Game Pass. It'll be released, I think, August, was it, Brian?
I believe so.
So there
How
goes.
does it compare to Skullgirls?
I think
It's
they're both fun.
It's the Skullgirls of roguelikes. I'm guessing you stuff like Nightmare Before Christmas and what the
Fuck,
fuck's
don't
going
read.
on?
I think he spazzed out on the fucking keyboard. I'm guessing you're fine with. That's what he says.
With Nightmare Before Christmas, I'm okay with that one, and I don't know what the last one is.
Paranorman. It's by the same studio who does what's that Zelda story? Oh my god, Kubo and the Two Strings.
I haven't seen Kubo.
The undead dog one, unless that's Paranorman. Maybe. Caroline, I think is they also made. I think that's another stop motion one they also worked on.
Yeah, just Wallace and Gromit. Even as a kid when that would come on, I felt so uncomfortably angry. I had to watch something else.
All right. And if not, then we can move on to something else. I guess now that we've had 2 days, I guess 3 days technically today of the recording of E3, what are you expecting from Nintendo tomorrow? It's a 40-minute direct, they said, and it's going to be mostly based on games coming out this year with some surprise stuff for games that are coming later on this year or like next year or something.
Is Nintendo known for talking?
Well, it depends. There's some Nintendo Directs that they literally just go in, say something, they do the little switch thing, and then back into gameplay trailers. It all depends.
That's how long it's gonna be. I think it's only like 40 minutes.
Yeah, that's what I said. It's a 40-minute showing, and then
about 40 minutes.
About 40 minutes.
So that's the thing. I'm just wondering if it's 40 minutes, how much of that 40 minutes is going to be actual gameplay?
Probably like 35.
Yeah.
They usually do a pretty good job of actually showing stuff.
Because
they'll just move it
knock
along.
Because Nintendo Directs aren't like the live presentations we've seen, like they're on stage and stuff. Yeah. It's literally pre-recorded. They say what they need to say. They edit it, so it's bam. This is the information. Cut to more information for the game, or here's a release date, or whatever, and they just keep it moving. They keep it tight. Unless if there's not many games in the showing tomorrow, it's just because they're going to be explaining the game and showing gameplay throughout.
That game with the rabbits that's going to be
I think it's going to be
something that they show again.
Probably not.
No.
Usually Nintendo doesn't waste that much time unless it's like, oh, and check out all these other games that are coming out later this year, and they'll just show like logos or a quick a hype trailer, like they do at the end of the stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe. I'm expecting Breath of the Wild 2 at this point. That because everyone's had their big old and one more thing. Xbox already has their new IP. They had Starfield, Forza, the new IP. What is it, Ryan? Redfall. You're
I
muted,
muted
homie.
Redfall.
Square Enix ended with Chaos, which is I think a new IP, which that's their thing, and they had Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy. The Summer Game Fest ended with Elden Ring. Like everything had one big thing, and I think Nintendo's is going to be Breath of the Wild, unless it's Metroid. But I'm tired of disappointing myself, so I'm going to go with Zelda.
Honestly, I think they're starting with Breath of the Wild.
Oh, like getting it out of the way, and then one more thing is going to be
I'm
Metroid.
with you. They're starting
Smash Bros.
They're starting with Smash announcement, because if you don't please the Smash people who just complain no matter what they get, they're gonna flip over Nintendo the building. So it's that,
shit.
and then I think it's gonna go into
Breath of the Wild.
Breath of the
He
Wild,
fucking
yeah.
hit me with it. It's
Wait,
going to be
so
Among Us and Smash Bros. If Among Us gets in there before Crash Bandicoot, I'm going to have to talk to somebody.
What, on the Switch?
No, on Smash Bros.
Oh,
If like the Among Us characters, they have some weird like get in there before Crash Bandicoot does, we're gonna have to talk to somebody, right?
So with the Smash announcement, do you think there's going to be actual gameplay or just an announcement?
No, if
they
once
always show gameplay.
yeah, they usually go here's a new
They
character
show a
and
trailer. They do the CG into it's this guy, and they show snippets, and then they usually announce later on when they're gonna do a full stream breaking down the character.
then they do right when they do character announcements for the most part. Jones says I feel like in some capacity it will be in Smash, maybe that's like a trophy, like a usable trophy or something. I can see that. Like you
just
throw it and
stickers.
it runs to the first person. It does that animation where it like stabs them in the eye or she shoots him. Like
They still add little stickers, so maybe one of them.
or stickers. Yeah, it'll probably be a sticker that they add. I forgot about the sticker.
you're a sticker.
Oh, and then what? Go for
Ozzy or Hugo in the chat asked if any updates on an MK game.
No, and that's what's disappointing because Warner Brothers got a time slot just to show off Back for Blood. When I thought they were gonna I thought it was like a Warner Brother Games like whole block, but it was just a block for talking about Back for Blood, which was to show off the PvP for Back for Blood.
I don't think the next thing from them is even gonna be Mortal Kombat, because Ed Boon keeps stating that they're working on something new, like a new IP.
Oh, okay.
Didn't you hint at what it was? I remember you bringing that up before.
That there was rumors of what IP they got, or
Yeah.
like a licensing deal they got.
There's rumors of them making a Marvel fighting game,
Oh,
okay.
So maybe.
which don't do that. No one wants to see shittily animated Iron Man or any of that.
I'm okay with that.
You don't want to see shittily animated Iron Man.
Oh, okay.
The only reason why, if this does happen, I'll be upset, because Marvel's Capcom idea is gone, right?
Yeah, they'll have this
Two,
instead.
it's gonna move hideously. All
But like
LRS
an-
games, their animation's awful. But the good thing is, if it's an original story, I'm
This probably be
completely
fire.
behind this. Yeah.
For an actual character, I have no idea. Meet the Robinsons or something. Does that count? That's a movie character,
No,
I guess.
It's a movie. Like I said, I think it's Sony representative and Microsoft representative are the last ones. For Sony, I don't see anyone else besides Crash at the moment in my head. And for Microsoft, because they own Bethesda too now, either Doom Guy or Master Chief, one of them are going to be in. They're all
Yeah, 'cause
too
Doom-
iconic for
Yeah.
them to be like another Fire Emblem character. Guess that weapon. Maybe, and I hope they don't do this, another Legend of Zelda character, which I would like it, but to be DLC and take up a game that hasn't been represented, don't do that.
Yeah, there's a lot of games.
But
that
if
need
it
to be
is, put Midna in. But don't do it.
grown or short, or she can switch.
Both.
So she can switch, or like we
She
mean
can
both.
switch.
Okay.
But I would rather have the small one and then make her a grappler with her hair.
Oh, I see. I mean, we'll see tomorrow, I guess. Maybe another Arms did Arms do? Oh, Splatoon. There might be a big chunk of the direct where they show off Splatoon, like you mentioned last week.
Probably.
But we'll see. Okay. If we don't have anything else, I think it's Breath of the Wild, Splatoon, Smash character, and maybe
Breath of the
Metroid.
Wild for sure. Smash for sure. Splatoon for sure. Maybe something regarding Animal Crossing, like a big expansion or something like that.
Oh, facts. Hard facts. Hold on. You earned it.
Facts.
It's been years since there's been a fully like fleshed out Mario game.
Oh, you gotta tell me, bro.
They could do a sequel to. What pissed me off about Galaxy or Odyssey, right? Is I said their DLC should be him because he visits other worlds. Have him visit other Nintendo IP worlds, and have him take control of whatever. And then I saw the promo they've been doing for Ratchet and Clank, or whatever that machine is. You see him rip worlds into other Sony IPs.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you fucking idiots, Nintendo.
Do
Do
this.
this, and your DLC is gonna sell amazingly.
Yeah. I can see that.
So I think they might do get Odyssey 2 and then actually implement that.
I'd be down. I mean, all the Mario's are always fun, so.
I don't think Metroid's going to be even acknowledged. I think they want us to just forget that they said that they were reworking on it.
No, bro. Every time
on the game.
Every time there's a Nintendo Direct, I'm like, all right, the 0.2% chance that Metroid's talked or shown. What's going to be worse is that let's say it is announced and I play it, I'm like, it doesn't hit the same. And I'm going to be sad with myself.
Yo, Paper Mario pissed me off, dude. I don't know. I want a Metroid, but I don't expect it.
God, I want it.
I'm trying to think what else Nintendo IPs. Maybe in ARMS too. I doubt it.
Maybe. I don't know how well that sold. I know Splatoon sold a lot more than ARMS, I think, so.
Is there anything else Nintendo has as a first party?
Well, how long ago? I think I already asked you guys this. How long ago was Fire Emblem?
Like 2 years ago.
Maybe a DLC. I guess DLC already came out for maybe another Fire Emblem. No,
I don't think so.
Can we talk about when was the last time they came out with a Mario Party?
Oh, that's true. A new Mario Party. I think it was like 2 years ago, 2-3 years ago. They haven't done a Mario Kart though. Now that you bring it up, so maybe a Mario Kart's gonna be announced.
I think the Mario
That
Kart.
was going to be my next thing. Is like I haven't heard anything. I haven't heard much about Mario Party or Mario Kart because like with the Switch they just updated.
The old one, 8.
Updated.
Yeah. Ozzy says he loves you. Dark sexy chocolate.
Who?
Ozzy Gamer 85. I'm just letting you know we got fans, bro. All right, so chill.
Here you go. I saw Kelsey smirk when you said he got fans. I already know this conversation is why I'm gonna go.
But anyway, before we get to that,
I feel like
yeah,
there's
a
something
Mario
else.
Kart would be great. Mario Party maybe, but there is one on Switch for Mario Party that was made for Switch. So the Mario Kart I think is more likely. Go ahead, Brian.
Donkey Kong game.
Yes, that's
Ooh,
like a
that would
tropical,
be-
like a tropical freeze or a whatever. The side-scrolling ones they were making. Yeah, I can see that too.
There's a lack of first-party slappers. All we have is Breath of the Wild and Mario, like Legend of Zelda and Mario and Animal Crossing representing, but I feel like they have other stuff that they just have not done. They might show off maybe some more Pokemon, like gameplay of the new Arceus, maybe. They might actually put a release date for the MOBA, the Pokemon MOBA. But I don't know.
Oh, maybe.
You need to set up a dark red lighting for Dolorosa gives off a
Gives
Sith
off a
Lord
Sith
feel.
Lord feel. Hold on, I can make it.
Oh yeah, Ozzy was saying that you should get like a red.
I can change the red to the red lighting right now. I think. Where is it?
Wait,
Where
me or
is
Anthony?
it? Huh?
Me,
I think he's talking about you,
Oh,
Brian.
you. Yeah. Then no, I cannot. I think talking about mine. I'm not gonna swap. I can swap it.
You
to red.
really need a tighter shirt though, Anthony.
Papa, look for what? There's no shirt that can.
Or you need to get
contain
bigger
it.
muscles. I haven't quite figured out which yet.
To just give me like a screenshot of a pixel. You're gonna get more than that, Hobby. You're gonna get more than that for the Breath of the Wild too. I think it's time to show off some more stuff they've added. And that's that for E3, I guess. Unless you guys have any other closing statements. Nope.
not that comes to mind right now.
Okay.
Oh, okay. I don't know how they book conferences, like windows of time. If whoever John E3, that's who owns it in my head. if Capcom approached me like, yo, let's get a block of time. I want you to laugh at them until they leave. Like, don't end the Skype call until they do. Just laughing at them.
Wait.
Biggest waste of fucking time.
For what again?
Capcom.
Oh yeah, I thought there was gonna be more stuff announced because when I came back from my garage while working out, Randall was already upstairs. I'm like, did it already end? Because he was watching it downstairs, and I'm like, what was it? He wasn't even hyped for anything.
It was like 39 minutes, I think the video was, and it was actually maybe like 20 minutes of actual. And I would say most of the content that was showed was divided between the Monster Hunter stories and the Frank Wright.
Oh, the Ace Attorney, the Phoenix Wright.
Phoenix Wright, yeah, attorney.
That's unfortunate. Dang, when it said Capcom on there, I'm like, they've had an entire block. I'm like, I thought they were gonna come out the gate.
You can't see the red lighting, damn.
Oh,
I switched my bar to red. No, you can kind of. That's not good enough.
yeah, it's barely changing.
It's
All
just not bright enough. Oh well.
It's unfortunate. All right, then we'll keep it moving, boys. We ended up seeing A Quiet Place. Everyone has a beard except one. I actually shaved mine today. I had a beard too, but the way my cycle works is I let it grow until I'm touching my face a lot more than anything, and like I'm just, because it's constantly scratching and itching me, and that's when I'm like, it's time to shave. So I just shave it off, and it grows back in like a week.
Wait, does Randall have a beard going?
Yeah, he does.
What? I gotta see this.
He's always looking down, so you can barely, not see his face the most of the night. It's light, but he's got it. Anywho, Quiet Place, Part 2, finally in theaters. We're ready to watch this thing. I think we should do spoilers, right?
What was that look?
I'm trying to think of...
you look like you was gone, bro.
I was trying to analyze the movie we saw, and I'm like, is it spoilers on anything we talk about? Because it takes place directly after, so... But no, I guess not, because the only thing that'd be spoilers is who survived the first one. Right?
I never saw the first one, so
I was just getting ready to say that anybody who would watch it would have watched it by now.
I guess since now that I have a ticker on the bottom, you can see what we're talking about. If you have not seen A Quiet Place Part 2, do not mute us, and when you see the thing at the bottom change from Quiet Place Part 2 to anything else we're talking about, you're clear. So, spoiler warning. For audio listeners, I'm sorry, just have to skip ahead until you figure it out. But for video listeners, we got a nice little visual aid of what the hell we're talking about. Hold on, Nazi in the chat says, hiding that face like Captain America did in Avengers. Oh, yeah. What was I going to say? Yeah, spoilers for Quiet Place Part 2. You've been warned. Leave now. All right, so spoiler here. I guess if we're going to say something that is super spoiler, we'll let Kelsey know so he can take off his headphones.
I don't care.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I like, it's one of those that I may or may not watch. So
okay, that's fair. All right, so Quiet Place 2 opens up with a flashback to how day one was when the invasion or the creatures took over, whatever happened. Then when that sequence of events was awesome, shot very well. I love a lot of the still shots from the the camera inside the car. They mixed the sounds a lot louder than they did in the first one, from what I remember. Brian, you can, I guess, confirm or deny, but
it did feel a lot louder.
Because in the first one they did a good job of keeping everything quiet, so even the most minute movements sounded loud. Mm-hmm. But in this one, it sounded like they boosted some sounds instead of it. I don't know. It didn't feel naturally loud, if that makes sense. Mm. But I guess Brian can get into the audio stuff. That's his realm there. You get to meet new characters. The sense of tension is there, same as the first one. Character performances are fantastic still. With such little dialogue, facial expressions. Hearing a person yell in this, it squeezes my internal organs. That's how tense the movie is. So when you hear someone scream in pain, you're like, fam, what you just did, your pain's not ending yet. You know, like you're drawing in your death.
Yeah, during that scene, man, I was like,
That kid.
I feel bad. I feel bad for the way I was feeling because for a minute I was being empathetic. I was like, man, that sucks. But then, like,
Survival instinct.
afterwards, I was like, if you don't shut up.
Yeah. If you don't shut the fuck up right now, we're all dead. Okay.
Yeah.
And that was in terms of performances. The mom, Emily Blunt, was there. I guess spoilers, but the kid one of the children gets pain.
He gets injured.
Yeah, Bear gets injured in a way where it's like his reaction to like his yelling reaction is warranted because that's your first instinct when you get and the amount of pain that he was in. Shoot, you know. John says Emily Blunt like weed. Smile. I mean, she's lit, so probably. Great performances again. Speaking of lit, even the kid, I'll give him both of the kids that were in it. Great performances from both of them. They did a good. Wow, I'm just too excited to talk about it. They did something different in terms of pacing in between the first one and the second one. I don't remember in the first one them swapping scenes in the middle of high tension stuff, right? They didn't, right?
No.
Which is why this one felt so jarring. So you have like sometimes three things happening in parallel, and they wanted to edit it in a way where like all of the climactic parts happen near the same time. So you'll have like a super tense moment, and then they'll cut to someone else so they can build a tense moment, and then they cut to someone else to build, and it's like a meanwhile go ahead.
Near the end of the first one, they did that, where that Emily Blunt's dilemma, and then Papa and Kid dilemma was around the same time.
But this one was it felt weird in this one because they were. I guess it's because in the first one they were still nearby.
Yeah, it was just like one was inside and one was just like right outside. This was like three different locations.
This was like vastly because they weren't some. There's a point where they're on an island, like far away from it. So it's like, oh, we'll take a break from this, and I'm like, okay. Yeah. It didn't take away from it, but it was just different from the first one in that way, where it was like I would have rather just have that scene play out and then the other scene play out, but it wouldn't have worked the way they wanted to with the simultaneous build up and then the climactic action that happened that it all connects to, I guess. I don't know. I had a fantastic time with it. I was waiting for it after they announced it. I'm like, can they do a second one? And I think with this one, I don't see them making a third one because this kind of solidifies a chain reaction of, oh, we got this to work with this radio station. Now they have a bigger field to play with, so they can just keep repeating the signal over and over. So I think it ended in a way where it's like you kind of get the idea what they're doing with this. Mm-hmm. Hopefully. Our man Cillian Murphy was in it. Splendid fucking performance.
Definitely a Shelby still.
He's definitely a Shelby, absolutely.
I was thinking like, oh wow, he can do an American accent. And I remember he was in the Dark Knight movies and it was just as good.
Yeah, he was Crane.
Yeah.
I wasn't worried about like the accent and stuff. I was worried about like, how much airtime he had, like if he.
I wasn't worried because I don't know. Up until we saw it, I don't know what he sounded like. I just knew he was in the movie. I
was hoping that his character wasn't throwaway.
Which accent is his natural accent?
He's British, I think.
Oh,
he's Irish.
Or Irish.
He's
who is this?
Cillian Murphy.
Cillian Murphy.
Cillian, I think.
Yeah, he's Irish.
Oh, that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's an Irish actor, like Mariah said.
But he did fantastic in it. Emily Blunt did fantastic. The kids did great.
Everyone it's Emily Blunt. Like,
yeah. Let me be blunt with you, right? That kid,
Reagan is my favorite character.
Reagan, who?
The deaf girl.
Oh, okay. The daughter. Go ahead, Brian.
The son. So Tom Holland is top tier in terms of making you like his tier game.
Yeah.
He's the
unmatched.
Virgil of a tier game, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm with you on that.
Their son in I was gonna say Last of Us, in A Quiet Place. His yells are like, "Yo, someone help him!"
Yeah, those are facts. When he was yelling, I'm like, I mean, he got it from his mom because I remember in the first one when she was in the tub, I'm like, she's dead. There's that's too much pain. I get it. There's no, you know. So I'm with you on that. The performances were great. You're getting emotional. Yeah.
It's like one of those situations where it's like he's screaming, and you're like, "Dag, this sucks." But then you're like, "Shut up." But then you look back and you're like, "Well, dag, I understand."
Yeah, like and it does that. And when it happens, the cuts are like. Cut to him yelling. It cuts to the mom going, "Oh, I know." I'm like trying to hush him up, and then you're like, for real, shut the hell up. And it cuts to his fucking leg, and you're like, "Oh yeah. You're right." He should be yelling because that fucking looks like it hurts. Oh,
is this like when that UFC kick, where his leg wraps around?
He gets his foot stuck in a bear trap, and you see it just like crunch up, and you hear the sound effects were great. And it's like, oh my god! And he starts yelling in a way because the whole thing is about sound. So it's mostly quiet. All you hear is them like slowly moving, and then I think there was like a bunch of bottles, like a trap was set because so they hit a wire, bottles started making noise, and that's your cue to get the fuck out because the aliens could hear that and they're rushing those bottles. So she's like run. So the buildup is them trying to just get somewhere. And then the music, I don't even know if there was music, but it starts building up, and then all you hear is like no sound, and then he steps on it, and the mechanical noise of it going, and then hitting his skin and like penetrating, and then his yell right afterwards, and I'm like, oh my god.
Well, I mean, yeah, like you got to think it's a bear trap. It's like a bear's paw is like,
Massive.
this friggin' big, and a person's, shin is like the size, like their calf is like slightly bigger than my fist.
And that kid
so there's going to be a lot.
Yeah, a lot of force going into that. It's just it definitely hits it's one of those things from like, oh, this is going well, like them traveling. I'm like, how are they gonna? Because the first one did a good job of foreshadowing how bad it's gonna get. With Brian, I mean, this is your cue here, Brian. The foreshadowing.
Oh, one of the things that both movies do really well is it lets you know what, like, remember this.
Yeah, like
the way I say it, when they show something, problem is how the director does. They point at something, problem.
Yeah.
And then it progresses, and you're like, who's gonna run into this problem?
Yeah.
And then when it happens, you're like, what the fuck, dude?
Which was different with this beginning scene with him getting hit with the man, because there was no problem. Like it didn't take the time to be like, there's a bear trap here. It was they're running, and then it happened. You're like, did he just step on the sound happened? And you're like, oh.
So it did problem, but it was more vague because right before that, she stepped over something and then she tripped on the bottle trap.
Yeah.
So the problem wasn't specifically a bear trap. It's
this place is
traps.
trapped.
Watch where you're stepping. Problem.
Yeah. And I was not expecting a bear trap, and that shit hit, and I'm like, oh, that is a problem. And that was kind of like an anchor of the decisions that were made later on. It's like the kid had to stay back while others go and look for help and stuff like that. And the girl, Reagan, you said her name is, had her arc was, let's go help more people because that's what my dad would have done, et cetera, et cetera. Because that's what he was doing with the radios underneath the house. So, and that's how that went. I don't know if you guys have anything else to speak on it. I highly recommend it. If you haven't seen the first one, please go watch the first one. And this is a good sequel to it. It's a bit more of the same. So you might get, I guess watching them back to back, you might get tired of it. But we had the year gap in between them. So the 2-year gap, or however long it was. I was in the chat, says a question. If we somehow got cash to get you a tighter shirt, would you wear it? Yeah. I mean, it depends. If it doesn't break TOS, I'll wear it.
He suggested using candle wax.
Oh, no, I'm a hairy dude.
That's what I said. I said you have too much chest hair for that.
No, please no. I will not do that. That's too much pain.
We should have a stream of you having like the shirt sewn on like around the skin, where it's like, okay, Okay, there we go. Let's sew that together.
So the only way, like, if I accidentally go like this, like lean forward, it's just my back, the back of the shirt breaks. I could probably do that. Yeah, that would absolutely wear it as long as I don't break like TOS or something where I get banned on something. I don't mind wearing it. I'm open to that. Yeah. Back to Quiet Place. I highly recommend it. I enjoyed my time with it. I'm gonna rewatch it when it comes out on digital. Like, it's great, just like I did with the first one. Brian, what are your thoughts?
Yeah. Shout out to Krasinski.
John Krasinski?
John Krasinski.
Krasinski. Sorry, it's Krasinski.
Guy Ferrari.
Oh my god. Shout out to Guy Ferrari.
It's really good. And with movies that get a sequel, a lot of times there's a clear tier difference within them. Like, yeah, it's cool. Doesn't really compare to the first one. This one, it's like neck and neck for me. Either answer you say, I can respect your answer.
Yeah, I can see that.
Everybody, great actor. This movie's basically acting without saying anything, or saying as little as possible.
Yeah.
And the people they got for that are like, they labbed this. So Emily Blunt being literally a concerned mother the entire time. When the bear trap scene happens, you can sense everything that's going through her character as if this is real life. So
yeah,
it's concern for her kid, concern for everyone's well-being, and he's being loud. And knowing she can't stop any of this, you can see her as like just she's trying to find a way to get them through that.
Mm-hmm.
Cillian Murphy, he showed that he was a Shelby in a past life.
That fucking knife scene, bro. That was some Peaky Blinders shit.
But I'm telling you, he did it for Wolves. I'm like, I believe it, dude.
Mm-hmm. He's killing.
I forgot what if any complaints I had. I forgot because this movie does so much well that anything that you do complain about is
a bit nitpicky.
A very minor nitpick. I don't remember there ever being music.
I thought on the one, I thought there was a music buildup before he got the man.
The only music I remember is the record player.
Yeah.
Okay, then I think I gave it my own music as they were running.
I'm trying to remember if there was music or if it was just loud sounds of them running. I don't remember.
I think it was just loud sounds of them running.
Then I gave it. What's the
you probably
term?
heard the sound of your own heartbeat.
Oh, it might have been. I'm like, oh, this beat's sick right now, and it's just me about to like pass out because of the stress. Shoot,
this is one of those times I was watching where I could agree with Bryant because you know how usually Bryant says he won't play a game because it's too stressful, so he's like, I gotta put it down.
Yeah,
I've never had that feeling. I've never played a game where I was like, this is too stressful.
Besides Returnal.
Oh yeah, that's his first. And I've never watched a movie where I felt that way. But this movie, man, like it's super stressful.
I think the most stress for me was that bear trap. I don't know why. Like that. I think that's when I think Quiet Place Part 2. That's the first thing that comes up in my mind because I don't know. That was executed so well.
That's up to everyone. Had a stressful situation. It was that one, the whole the vault.
Oh yeah, when the
oxygen.
I thought they were gonna go really dark with that, and I'm like, if they kill that fucking baby, dude, I'm like, that's gonna be in that. I guess we're doing spoilers anyway. So the baby, obviously, babies make too much noise, Kelsey. We all know this. They cry, whatever. So in the first one, they created a basket, and it's padded all over. Okay. So they put the baby in there, and you're thinking it's gonna die of oxygen. They have a canister on top of it and a tube, like a face mask on it, so it can breathe while it's in that casket. I guess. So in the second one, from the first one to the second one, they never swapped out the oxygen can. So by the second one, when it got to the point where it was getting empty, they were locked in a vault because the thing was right outside. So the people in there were just and they accidentally locked themselves in because they were before they would have like a towel to hold the lock before it actually stops them. Well, shit was happening and he got in, the lock came down, so he can't get out anymore and he's stuck with the baby. The baby was there was no more oxygen on the can. So now at this point I thought the kid was gonna die in there. And I'm like, they're not going this dark, right? He's like, I did a banger first movie. I'm gonna go up above and beyond in the second one. I'm like, you're not gonna kill a baby in your second movie, right?
Even there, they went when they introduced that whole vault room. Cillian
Problem.
Murphy has put a timer.
Yep.
Beep beep beep. The second that happens, he opens that door. Problem. They showed how the door was kept from locking. Problem.
The canister, that one was very deliberate. They're like, they zoomed in on like, hey guys, remember that canister they did in the first movie? It's running out. Problem.
This one did something different though. They went solution, and that was when you saw the water dripping just from the little end of the.
They did. That was a good one, yeah, because that came up multiple times throughout the movie. Like every time they would transition to, hey, what's happening underneath the vault? It would start off with the drops, and I'm like, is that a problem? Like every time they showed, I'm like, what problem would that cause?
When I first saw that, I thought that was going to be a problem.
And I'm like,
I thought it was gonna flood, and they had to like somehow get out.
oh, okay, that would make sense, yeah. Gotcha.
Yeah, I mean, sound design is still well done. Even more so, what I like about this movie is it puts you in, what's her name, Reagan?
Yeah.
It puts you more into her world more often.
Yes.
Sometimes everyone's freaking out and they just cut all the audio. That's also why maybe it's felt louder too, is because they would switch from her and you're not hearing anything but seeing things to
maybe
to get the fuck out sounds.
that makes sense. Ozzy in the chat says, so like one of those bicycle outfits? I guess so, because those are on really tight.
So, well, he showed me one, and you could see like in the picture there was space here, and I was like, that's not tight enough. So he found some Under Armour ones that like they literally sink to the skin.
Okay.
And he sent it to me. I don't know if he posted it in your chat, but I can share it to you if you need me to.
He's just asking what the size of the shirt. I wear depending on the brand, between medium and small. So, but generally medium.
Yeah, I'm gonna post this in the podcast for you.
Gotcha.
I'm a small, but I keep being given medium shirts.
Yeah, like this. I think this is a small shirt, and there's still room. I would imagine. So most likely small, but depends on the brand, I guess. So Brian, like,
yeah,
what are your recommendations here? Yay, nay?
I literally watched both. I don't know how it would be if you watch them back to back. Something that was different with this one from the first one, and I guess it is nitpicking, maybe because it was something new. When we watched the first movie and the movie ended, the car ride into basically most of the rest of the day was everyone is as quiet as possible, and I think that just shows the impact of the world building they did.
Yep.
This time that didn't really happen, which I found weird. Maybe it's because of
we already had expectations.
Yeah.
Because like the first one, we go in there, we're like, oh, that's weird, and then
I think it might have been also. I mean, I can't speak for other people, but for me, I think it might have been shock value because I've never seen a movie like done like that.
What the first one did, yeah. I'm saying it's just the first one was that. Now going to the second one, we had an expectation.
Yeah.
Is all, and it didn't blow out that expectation. Like I think it hit. The Quiet Place 1 and 2 are like consistent quality. I think so. If you like the first one, you'll love the second one. I think. If you didn't care, if you're like, first one's whatever, you might think it's the second one's whatever, because it's just a consistent quality that
They did a good job too, in the sense that with the first one, they find a way to tell you no one's safe. In the second one, they endanger people in a way that makes you think, are they gone?
Oh yeah. They play on it. They let you know at first, hey, he can go, but we're gonna play around with whose lives are actually gonna go.
Yeah. Anything else I have to say besides that's just gonna be me gushing? I recommend them. These movies, I like that they essentially put audio first, in the sense that to get the best experience, you don't need a huge TV or 4K, 6K, 19K, 4x3,
9K, 16K.
Yeah,
16K. Got it.
It's basically get your audio right. And the bad thing is that most people don't care about audio. They put audio last. So if you were to watch at home,
you're probably playing it through
less
speakers.
experience, through speakers or a sound bar. Yeah, I recommend. Nonetheless, I recommend both movies.
Okay.
There was, with A Quiet Place 2 out, somebody had posted about watching. They had started watching it and thought that it was like just completely silent the entire time, and then realized that one of their speakers wasn't plugged in properly, and it caused the whole system to short. And so he watched the first like 30 minutes of it in absolute silence.
Yeah, he should have figured it out really quick, because it cuts to the flashback, and the flashback is before before the thing happens, so there's people talking and stuff. So
I don't know. I think he said he had subtitles or something on,
gotcha.
and thought it was just them, like that was what they were doing. You know, that they were being really quiet. It wasn't audible enough that you could hear it, and so they just had subtitles.
Okay. Randall.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely gonna say watch both. They're great movies.
You guys ever see a movie so good that we're recommending the previous one too?
Yeah, he did an excellent job, man. Both times.
That's 3 for 3 on our end.
I have a small side note that has nothing to do with what we're talking about.
Okay, go for it.
Guilty Gear Strive already shipped 300k units worldwide
Nice. Shipped?
for a fighting game. That's big, yeah.
Oh,
That's what they're saying. Shipped.
I wouldn't go with shipped, because shipped is just they've just shipped it to retailers. It hasn't been bought yet. So I mean, is there like an own number? Because that's what
That's all the Arc Systems tweeted.
Gotcha. Okay, that's fair. Because there's some companies that like to use that as a marketing trick. Like, oh, we shipped millions of them. That just means they sold it to retailers.
I don't know. But someone responded to this with a picture of a Guilty Gear character, and it's like it showed Soul, which I don't want, but that's what would happen. Smashes his way in or something. They have Street Fighter, KOF. Maybe they're putting it. It would be cool if they put a Guilty Gear character
In Smash?
Smash, yeah.
I don't know. That's kind of niche, but I maybe. Like, I don't think Guilty Gear is known the way Street Fighter characters are known, right?
Probably, I don't know. To be honest with you, I don't know.
What's Guilty Gear?
Okay. He knows Ryu, though, so.
You're not even in this game.
Yeah. So, yeah, we're going to go with the recommendation there. Absolutely. Go watch Quiet Place Part 2. Kelsey.
I got a question.
Go for it. Well, hold on. Go ahead, Randall.
How long do you think you guys would?
We already had this
that's a very
conversation.
generic
I'll
question.
die right away in this world.
I will say this. What would be the first thing you think you would do upon being thrown into that situation?
Be quiet.
Yeah, like
I mean, that's obvious, but I'm talking about what's the first physical thing you would do? I mean, would you
Get the
go
fuck out?
yeah, leave. Like, I don't escape.
leave and go where?
Find somewhere where they're not. Like, stay quiet. Like, basically what that family did. They hunkered down. Like, they bunkered down at their home, made like a whole system of surviving in it, and try to do that as quietly as possible. I don't.
What is the situation? I don't actually know. So
basically, according to Quiet Place Part 2, something came from the sky, and
Okay.
these weird fucking creatures are in it, and started invading, I think, all over, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're susceptible to sound, and they just start attacking anything that makes sound. So, like, literally, right, if you breathe too hard, they know where you're at.
I'd be picking up rocks to throw and, to distract them.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, you throw it and it makes a sound and they start running in that direction.
Yes, they do that. The thing is, they also use echolocation as well. So they'll make a screech so then they can see what things are bumping. So if they see something that's moved, they're gonna be like, "What the hell?" And they'll attack it. That's what they've shown so far. But
they're very thorough about searching the area. So even if let's say you threw a rock that was like 20 feet away from you, 50 feet away from you, they would search their entire area for like a period of time. And I'm talking
That's why you
about
get a slingshot too. Just like,
fling that fucker across.
exactly.
I don't know. I try to do what they would do, but again,
But
I have too many.
even if he did use a slingshot itself was going to make noise.
Yeah, and that's also like you just pulling on the rubber, and then it's like they go what?
Like
If they can hear you quietly pulling on the rubber to do that, you can't move. You can't physically be alive because they'd probably hear your fucking heartbeat. Like
It's almost to that point. It is almost to that point. It depends on how loud it is. But then again, that's what the movie's like. Even the most minute things sound loud because it's almost so quiet the entire time. I don't just watch the first one and you'll get a grasp of what we're talking about here. What I would do right now, I will try to do that. But me as a human being, how I live my life, I make too much sounds passively.
yeah, I wouldn't survive just because of my
wouldn't.
fucking weight. Like I would walk somewhere and just and then that would be it. Like
I make too much like noises with my mouth to like passively. Like I'm just like
I think I would just teach
Hey,
myself
this-
how to walk on all fours.
but we said, why would that change anything? I don't understand.
because
my
you'd be
weight's
distributing the
distributed.
weight the most.
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. If you're standing upright, you have the most force downwards. Whereas if you're walking around like a gorilla, you have the weight distributed, so you're technically lighter as you walk.
Okay. I mean, I don't think that's a hard thing to learn. You can walk like.
I am half dog, so
And if it starts raining, you don't have to worry about those guys.
if it's raining,
Oh, so you are a bitch.
yeah.
Technically,
I'm a
if
male
he's
human, but a female dog half.
let's get it.
I would like to have seen like the period from what we saw in the first beginning of the second movie up until the beginning of the first.
Oh no, I'm good with what that because it's one of those we get it, and now we need to see them survive. Like that was perfect. How did it get there? Oh shit, it was just abrupt. Cool. Flash forward, because that's what that first movie was. The first movie opened with how are they living with themselves at that time, and then shit hit the fan at the
But I'm
ladder.
just thinking about all the different things that you guys mentioned that you would have to adjust. I would just like to see how they adjusted, how quickly they adjusted, and what were some of the obstacles that they went through, and how did they solve them.
Well, they did that. They did it in the first movie. With all the sand that they were putting to travel, their house, you can see where the paint was scrubbed off because they walked on specific places, so they don't make noises. The lights to signify things, the fire pits to make sure everyone is still alive around.
Padded rooms, so that they can
Yeah, but
play board
all that,
games.
that's what I'm saying. All of that stuff like takes time to set up, which probably makes noise.
No, but I'm sure they had something to do it. But that to me, they cut the BS for me. They're like they managed to do it because there was obviously none around. Mm-hmm. Like depending on how loud you make something, it depends on also like, the things they were putting up like padded and stuff. I'm sure he didn't grab a hammer and start going hammer. He probably tried to push it in or something, or not like a nail, but like push something in there to hold it.
Can these things not be killed, or they just swarm you? And that's
Oh my god, they
At
have
first,
level 20 armor.
Yeah, like the first movie is how the fuck do we kill these things? The ending of the first one, we find out how to kill them, and now 2 is with that knowledge we move forward.
When they come, they explode.
Yeah, that's what it is.
What the heck?
they must have great eyesight then.
They're blind.
That's what I said.
Because yeah. No, but you get a buff when that happens to you. They lost it. Their sight. You know what I'm saying?
It's kind of like a bee, how they can just sting once.
Yeah,
These guys can only come once.
and that's it.
Gotcha.
Imagine.
That'd be
real,
awful.
Yeah, that would be really bad.
Be like Zoidberg from Futurama. Life choice of never having sex or having sex once and dying.
Yeah, that's a
When
bad.
they melt and mesh together in the water or something like that.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, let's keep it moving. Kelsey,
What's up?
I need you to sum up your fucking list of Superman movies here. All right? Because it's absurd.
What are you talking about? There's only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 Superman movies. 12 if you count the Batman movie because Superman appears in it.
I don't know how you want to
Borderline
tackle this.
offensive how he's seen that many Superman movies.
Yeah,
but he
like,
hasn't seen movies that matter.
Yeah, like holy shit,
Because they're only an hour a piece, so I could just sit there and watch one.
like an
I find
episode.
this as
That makes
I
sense.
hate crime directed towards me.
I don't even know how you want to tackle it. Do you want to tackle it like your favorite ones and work your way down,
Uh,
and just do some quick sum? Because you have like literally 12 movies on here. 1, 2,
let me
3, 4, 5.
let me look at them again. So I do want to talk about a couple of them. Like Superman Red Sun was super weird. You know,
That's
it's
the
like
Russian one, right? Like
Yeah,
didn't-
so-
That's the one that I reviewed.
yeah,
so he ends up at, in Russia instead of
Earth.
the U.S.
Or-
and what?
You said Russia instead of, and I said Earth. Like Russia's a different fucking planet. Go ahead.
And like so they put a really interesting spin on it, because he ends up in Russia, and Stalin is like leading and like keeping him kind of in the dark about all this stuff, and then he meets Lois Lane, who's apparently married to Lex Luthor, and Luthor has hair.
Yeah.
It's red.
You say
Um,
Luther phony?
what?
You say Luther phony?
How do you say it?
Luthor?
He goes Luthor.
Luthor.
Oh,
So Lex has red hair, which I thought was weird. But she's like, you know what the gulags are, right? He's like, what the fuck are the gulags? Like, we don't do that stuff, And she's like, yeah, you should probably like start looking into this. And then he goes and he finds out that there's this like whole establishment that's built with lead everywhere so that he can't see it. And then he frees the people and finds after he finds like his childhood friend, and takes her outside, and she ends up dying because they're like basically being starved and working down there.
jeez.
And he goes and he talks to Stalin and is like, what the fuck? He's like, we have to do this to make sure that we maintain peace. And so then he kills Stalin, and then he starts like running Russia as the basically as the supreme overlord. And then he starts like expanding. So he like then takes over the Asian countries like China and Korea, and then he moves a little further out from there, and he starts like, what is it? He starts attaching. No, let me go back. So then like Brainiac shows up in his ship,
Mm-hmm.
and he takes it down super easily for the most part, and Brainiac then becomes like his slave, just like a household robot that like
some sort.
that kind of like manages his daily things that he doesn't want to have to basically hire a team for.
Okay.
I'm trying to think of where to go with this. And then he and Wonder Woman are friends to an extent, but she's like worried because some of the things that he's doing, he's like implanting chips in people's heads to basically control them, And Wonder Woman's like trying to talk him out of some stuff, but he's like, no, it's necessary, and so she just kind of goes whatever. And then Batman's Russian, and which doesn't make any sense. And like he's like out there in his bat suit, and then the like classic, the Russian hats that everybody has.
Oh, the heated ones with the white thing above, and it comes down with the ear flap.
Yeah. And then he's like causing all these problems. He's causing all these problems because he's trying to let people be people, and Superman is basically not letting mankind be mankind. He's controlling them. He's forcing them to do his bidding. And Superman tries to justify it, and then people are like, you're doing the same thing that Stalin was doing, like just in a different way. It's the same thing. And he's like, no, like we're at peace. There are no wars. There are no whatever. And America the whole time is like trying to Lex gets a sample of the DNA and creates a what did he call him? He basically created a Superman, or a superior man is what it is. And that was a weird thing.
This is definitely one of those weird alternate future kind of things.
Yeah, like I didn't understand. Like I could understand some differences. Like Lex not hating Superman because he's not there in America doing all the things that he doesn't want him to do.
Mm-hmm.
But like, why is Bruce? Why is Bruce Russian?
He
Like,
also was raised in Russia, and then his family was shot outside of a Russian theater.
Yeah.
And that's how
I don't know. The whole thing was very strange. In let's see. Trying to think of what else. Batman: The Dark Knight Returns was pretty cool. It's like kind of it's like a take like Batman Beyond, where he's older and he's trying to like figure things out, but he's retired, and then because he's retired, a lot of shitholes have come out of the woodworks and are, basically rampaging the city. And he retired.
They can take the bat now because he's old.
Yeah. Well, he's not. He retired. He's not doing anything. He doesn't exist anymore.
Gotcha.
And apparently, the reason that he retired is because there was some agreement that they came to with the government, where Superman basically is the U.S. government's lackey, and Wonder Woman went back to her people. Martian Manhunter went back to Mars, and all this other stuff, and then Bruce just agreed to retire. It's like a two-part thing. There's a part 1 and a part 2. And the first one, it's him coming out of retirement, beating the shit out of these people called mutants. And I don't know if they're actually like mutated or what. They didn't really look like they had mutations. I think they were just called the mutants. And then the second one is him like dealing with. It's like extending on top of it and then dealing with Superman and the everything.
Because he's seen as a threat now, even because he's back from retirement.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
Let's see.
Which other ones you like on here? Because you saw a bunch of them.
Yeah, I saw a bunch of them. Some of them were like whatever. Superman, Batman, Public Enemies was actually really good.
Okay.
It's got a really good banter between, Bruce and Superman.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, Superman gets framed for killing because Lex becomes president. Superman gets framed for killing Metallo, and then they're like, we can't have him running around. We've got to stop him, and they've got their own, squad now with like Starfire, Static Shock, Captain Atom, and a couple of others.
Yeah.
And there was a line in that where Bruce is like, talking about him dying or having a funeral, and he's like, been there, done that. And it was really funny. Superman Shazam was great. It's like a short 25 minutes, but it's basically about how Shazam gets his powers and then helps Superman defeat Black Adam, because Black Adam was like the original Shazam, and then he kind of turned to the dark side.
Okay.
Superman, Batman Apocalypse. I don't remember Batman really being in. Oh, I remember Batman being in that now. But it's about like his cousin coming through the wormhole, Supergirl, and like Darkseid like tries to take control of her, and then they beat the shit out of him. That one was pretty decent. The death and return of Superman. It's basically like what you've seen, like it's basically the Justice League movie, like Zack Snyder's Justice League cut. Brainiac attacks is your typical Brainiac attacks, and he beats the shit out of him.
Comes up, yeah.
Superman versus the Elite was actually really good because it's a bunch of basically mutant heroes where they like have powers, and they use it to help people, but they push Superman's boundary of like killing people and like severely injuring them. And then they kind of take control and tell everybody that they're basically the rulers now, and that everybody's gonna have to listen to them. And then Superman loses his shit and really goes off on them, and takes them out.
Does he end up
Um,
pushing? Does he end up crossing? Like he kills them or something, or no?
he makes it seem like that, but it's all a facade,
Got it.
and he like because it kills it looks like he kills the girl with wings with like some sort of poison dart, and then the magician, he sucks all the air out of his lungs with a tornado, and I don't remember what he did with the other guy, but then he lobotomizes the like main dude, because every time he activates his powers, Superman scans his brain and finds the part of the brain that
activates.
allows him to do it, and then he like cuts it out basically.
Jeez.
And then talks about how like it's very easy to cross this line, and that's why he doesn't do it.
Mhm.
And he's like, "But you destroyed the city, like you killed all these people." And he's like, "No, I didn't." And then out pops all of his super robots that have been helping everybody.
Like evacuate and stuff.
Yeah, they like block all the debris and whatever. Speaking of debris, like every single one of these movies, there's so much
Collateral damage.
unnecessary collateral damage. They're like, yeah, so I could have just broken the guy's suit, like ripped it off or something. But no, I'm gonna pick him up and throw him through 33 buildings for no reason. Okay, like
Superman's
it is
a
just
spectacle
absolutely
hero.
yes. Man of Tomorrow was it's him, Lobo, and Martian Manhunter against so Lobo's like trying to capture Superman because he's the last Kryptonian, and Lobo is a
Like a bounty hunter or some type
Yeah.
of
Bounty hunters.
yeah, and he uses this bomb grenade device that causes that infects a person, and he becomes a parasite that like that feeds off of energy.
Okay.
And when he feeds off, they find out later in the movie, as he feeds off energy, he not only gains the powers of whoever he feeds off of, but he also gains their like emotions and some of their memories and that kind of stuff.
Okay.
The very end of it was kind of a cop out. It's like they try to like take him out, but he's this massive thing now, and that in order to draw him out, they shut down power to everything except for like the nuclear power plant or whatever it is that they have there.
Uh-huh.
And then shit goes down. Superman gets just thrown through the friggin' walls, and then it starts to overload. And then the parasite goes and drains, the parasite goes and drains all of the
plant.
energy and turns to dust because it's too much. The fuck was Superman Unbound?
I don't know. You tell me, homie.
Superman and Supergirl take on Brainiac. This one was a different take on Brainiac. He's more humanoid versus just computer, and then but he links up with he's very cybernetically enhanced.
Like if Legion was like one host, but he can like connect with any electrical device or something, or
yeah, basically, like if it was like trying to think, I guess like Edie in the third one where she's
okay.
got where the original has like the skin and everything like that.
yes,
Basically like that, because he has a lot of cybernetic upgrades.
right.
That one, I mean, it's short but interesting.
How did you like the death and return of Superman?
I thought it was really good.
Same. I thought it was
You
pretty
know,
cool.
Yeah. That one, there's two parts to it. There's obviously the death,
Yeah.
and the death of Superman is one movie, and then the return is like a whole nother one. But
Yeah.
they have them combined into one, which is the death and return of Superman. But it's the same thing. Like he dies because of Doomsday, and then they
Mhm.
bring him back, and
Did you like any of the other Supermen that came after him before he came back? Like the Superboy, the armored
Steel.
one, Steel. That's his name. Did you like any of them?
Yeah,
or
Steel was pretty cool. The boy was like interesting. Like I like the whole, he's kind of a snotty little kid that,
yeah,
you
edgy and whatever,
whatever.
like with the jacket, like the teenager.
yeah. What was and then the robotic version where he has like his memories or whatever.
Yeah.
But it turns out it's not actually him.
That was Steel, wasn't it?
No, that was
No.
Steel was the black guy that he saved in like a construction accident that was working with Cyborg's dad.
Yeah.
Um, All-Star Superman is so he gets too close to the sun, saving a scientist, and absorbs too much radiation, and so his cells are growing too rapidly, um, and he's dying,
Oh.
and then he apparently makes an elixir that gives Lois the ability to be Superman for 24 hours, but without any of his vulnerabilities, like to kryptonite, red sun, that kind of stuff.
What?
And it's a really cool take. And then Lex, Lex is he's in jail, and because of crimes against literally everything that Lex does.
Yeah.
And then he breaks out and hang on. So the very beginning is he's under basically house arrest, and then he's the reason that the shit's going wrong on the mission to the sun, and Superman shows up and saves him. But Lex knew that it was going to overpower him or power him up too much, and he was going to kill him. And he basically like quadruples his strength or more. Like, I mean,
What
it's just absolutely ridiculous. How much stronger he gets because he's like souped up even
Uh-huh.
more. And then Lex also figures out how to create the serum and starts using it, and can see like atoms and how everything's connected and all this stuff. And he's like, I can fix everything. I can do this for everybody. Like, I can change the world.
Uh-huh.
And Superman hits him with a gravity gun and like increases his
His
base
mass?
gravity by like 1,500 times,
Oh my god.
which speeds up the whole process of the super serum.
Uh-huh.
Because they say gravity affects time and space.
Yeah.
That's basically what a black hole is doing. And so how we perceive time is we perceive time the way we do because of the gravity here. But like in Interstellar, when they're like an hour down there is like 7 years back on Earth or whatever.
Right.
And I also don't understand how Superman gets his ass kicked by Lex during this, because he's supposed to be even stronger than he was before. So there's really no reason that the super serum should be giving him
Any hard time.
yes. But the sun starts dying, and I don't remember exactly why. And Superman's the only one that can fix it because he's basically made of pure energy, and so he flies into the sun and fixes it.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
It was another kind of one of those cop outs.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, I think that's all of them.
Damn, you went through a bunch of it. Did you just watch them while you were working or something, or?
Just at night, like I'd
Okay.
watch like one or two, because I also had 2 weeks to do this, so
Oh,
it's
right. That's true. You're
and
right.
then on the weekend I would watch a couple.
That's fair.
And then there's Superman Doomsday, which is based on the death of Superman storyline.
Okay. Nice. Damn, dude, you got through a lot of Superman movies. What's the next one you binging Batman movies? He's got a bunch.
I think I've watched most of the. I think I've watched most of them already.
Okay.
I think or maybe it was the Justice League ones. So maybe I have Batman next.
You're gonna get to what was the Asian Batman Ninja? I think it was.
I do have that one in my list. I just haven't bothered to watch
That
it.
one starts off really cool for me, and then it gets to it gets to one point you're like, what the fuck are we doing right now?
I didn't even get to finish the movie, but the thing I'll applaud them for is how stupid they made Damien look.
Oh, that's right. Damien looks. Everyone has like crazy different outfits because it's like a different take on Batman, obviously. What else? The English one, the
Oh.
London one, was really good.
Oh, the one where he's like, it's like an older time.
Yeah.
And back
Feudal
in
Japan.
yeah.
No, that's right.
No, he's talking about in Britain.
I'm talking
like
about the
the-
British one.
Yeah.
Wait, oh, I didn't notice you guys switched. They
What was it
don't have-
called?
Gaslight.
Gaslight Gotham. I think that's what it was.
All right, I'll have to look and see if that's in my list because I don't think it is.
Because
It's a
that one,
parallel universe Batman.
yeah.
One of the things with the Superman, they didn't have like any. There was no consistency. All of the art is different. You know, against basically all of them. The voice actors were different. You know,
Even for
they
Superman?
did have, huh?
Even for Superman, like Superman's voice actor was different.
Oh yeah, I mean Adam
Oh.
Baldwin played a couple of them.
Oh, okay.
Or maybe it was just the one. Let me look at them. So, Tim Daly, Adam Baldwin, Jerry O'Connell, Tim Daly again. I'm sorry. Hang on. Where'd it go? Yeah, Tim Daly.
Imaginary collection.
George Newbern,
Oh, it's in the theater. Nice.
Some dudes.
Zachary Quinto, or that was Lex.
Let's get it, Randall. That's a good way to rent it. Say again. Sorry.
Matt Bomber. Like, I mean, there was a whole bunch of different ones. In Apocalypse, Andre Bauer plays Darkseid and did an amazing job with it. If you don't know that name, that's Captain Ray Holt.
Okay, that's what I was looking up. I did not know. It's Holt. For me, he's Holt. He's just
Yeah.
Captain Holt.
And then in All-Star Superman, Christina Hendricks plays Lois.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I mean, there was no real consistency among like anything. You know, I think they had the actual Superman from like the Justice League play in a couple of them, but I don't
guess he
know
didn't get the
I don't-
gig all the time.
no.
I mean,
So,
that happened in some of the Batman movies too, because I don't think all of them have Kevin on it.
oh, they don't. The Dark
The Dark Knight
Dark Knight Returns is played by
someone
Peter
else.
Weller.
Yeah. And not all of them have Hamill as Joker, so
Which is disappointing.
yeah.
Like I think so. You know how like sometimes it's the first one that you hear or the one that you hear more often that you really associate it with,
Okay.
and you know. But like I grew up watching Batman the Animated Series. I watched Justice League, but like hearing the original Harley Quinn, Mark Hamill as Joker, Kevin
Yep.
Conroy as Batman, and then whoever plays Superman and Wonder Woman and all that other stuff from Justice League, like those are the voices I associate with these characters.
Yes.
And when you see these other characters and you're like, that's clearly I don't know who the fuck this imposter is, but get them off the stage.
As you hold them so dear to your heart, you like when I hear them speak, it needs to be this voice.
Yes.
It needs to be Kevin. It needs to be Mark. It needs to be Philip Lamar. I think does Martian
Aquaman.
Man. I thought he did Martian Manhunter.
He does Aquaman.
Oh, Aquaman.
He might do Martian Manhunter, but I know for a fact he does Aquaman.
Who is this?
Phil
Bill
Lamar.
Lamar.
He's in.
He used to do on Mad TV.
Yeah, he's on
He
Futurama.
was Vamp.
Phil Lamar is awesome.
Yeah. Oh, I was
So-
complimenting your biceps, by the way, Randall.
Hmm?
It said Ozzy was complimenting your biceps. Because I think when you showed me the Halo thing, your biceps were on frame. So. And that's onlyfans.com/loaded up.
Here we go.
Just kidding, he doesn't have that. Then look it up. I don't know what that's going to take you to.
Yeah. So I'll have to look and see how many Batman movies I can find, and then just watch all those next.
Because there's a lot of good ones. I enjoy a lot of the animated ones.
Under
For
the Red
Batman.
Hood's really good.
Under the Red Hood is awesome. I've seen
like that.
I've seen a bunch of them already.
There's one.
I know that there are more because like I found out that there were a ton more Supermans than I had originally thought.
There's a
clearly.
Batman movie from back in the day, Batman animated series. If you haven't seen that, I've seen all of Batman in the animated series. no, I'm saying there's a movie from that one. Like it's Batman animated series movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's like a whole bunch around that time too, like Mask of the Phantasm, Mr. Freeze and Sub-Zero, Mystery of Batwoman. There was a short called Chase Me, and then Batman and Harley Quinn.
Man, Gotham's got the characters, bro.
Got the pizza.
It's got the pizza too. What's
Like,
so
the
funny,
thing,
man?
the thing with the DC universe is like, even though they have the Justice League and whatever, you're like, who's the DC universe? Batman and Superman, and that's like it. You know, those are the two that everybody knows.
They're the most popular, but like if we had E-Man here, he'd be like, "No, don't you ever say that. The lanterns are life," and then he can go into like lore of lanterns. It's just the most popular are definitely Batman, Superman, and and Wonder Woman.
Wonder Woman. They're called the Trinity.
Yeah.
So I did forget to for Red Sun. So for Red Sun, they managed to get one of the Green Lanterns had crashed on Earth, and then Lex managed to get the body, and he re-engineered the ring and its abilities and things,
Yeah.
and he gave it to Hal Jordan, who I think was the first, Earth lantern, and then also, I can't remember his actual name. The black guy from Justice League who plays Green Lantern.
John Stewart.
John Stewart, yeah. So he was also there. So it was like Hal and John were fighting side by side as lanterns, with like a squad of people, and Superman was just going like busting through them like they were nothing.
That's unfortunate. Yeah, I'd like to see them go at it and not I'm Superman, I can just destroy everything in a punch. The One Punch Man version of Superman, I'm not a huge fan of.
There's a clear weakness to him besides a rock and taking it from the sun. He's free to magic.
Yeah.
So if he's like, "Oh, Dr. Fate," and he's gonna rep his set, and then
Always.
Superman's no more.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of which one it was, but there was one where like Lex basically goes insane. Actually, it may have been Public Enemies. Yeah, I think it was Public Enemies. Also, Clancy Brown plays the best Lex Luthor ever. Clancy
Brown.
That sounds familiar.
That sounds so.
He's-
I've seen him in live action. That's what that name
this
sounds
guy.
like.
This guy.
Yeah.
I have seen him in live action. Yes, I know who this guy is. Yeah, he
He's
can
in
definitely play
Highlander.
Luther. I'm right there with you. He absolutely can do a really good Luther.
But so in Public Enemies, I told you guys this earlier. I can't stand it when people are like, you get put in some shit situation, and then like after the situation sort of resolves itself, another person that was put in that situation overcomes whatever barrier it was to finish off the situation.
Oh, right.
Or another situation, and it's like, where the fuck was that shit 2 minutes ago when you could have been saving lives? Okay,
Yeah.
so in Public Enemies, they hire Toy Man. I think it's Toy Man to build a bomb basically big enough to destroy this massive kryptonite meteor. Okay,
Okay.
and because Lex doesn't want to rely on superheroes for it, he wants to take all the glory and credit, and everything he does fails, and he's going insane because he's like injecting himself with kryptonite. And what was it? He gets on his power armor and he starts beating the shit out of Superman and Batman and
Okay.
somebody else. I forget who the other one was. And he gets to the scene where they're getting ready to launch the rocket, but it's basically a giant transformer or a giant robot,
Okay.
and it's half Superman, half Batman. And and Toy Man is like, I just want you guys to know that when I built this, I really was into idolizing heroes, and that's why it looks like that. But then Lex shows up and beats the crap out of Batman and Superman, and then rips the guidance, the AI chip out of whatever it is.
Yeah.
And so Batman's like, I'm just gonna fly it myself. So he gets in there, and then Lex is still beating the shit out of Superman, and Batman takes off, and it's a suicide mission because it's it's just him guiding it, and there's no way that he's gonna be able to return from this. And then after he goes up,
Yeah.
Superman grabs or finally decides to start dodging the power armor, grabs it, shreds it, and it's like, bruh, you could have done this when he showed up. Like, what are you doing?
Oh, it's one of those.
You know?
Oh, miraculously to build up tension, we're gonna send Batman, and then Superman's gonna get the power to rip this.
You guys remember in Justice League, I don't remember the name of it, when the Mirror Master leaks how to beat everybody?
Oh, Doom.
The movie.
Yes.
Justice League
Do you
Doom, I think it
remember
was.
when the fucking robot was in front of Superman and pulled out kryptonite, had it prom distance? He's like, I can't. And then when they were about to crash onto the moon or whatever, he said, oh, fuck that kryptonite. And then he saved the day.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's the One Punch Man version of Superman. When they write him like, oh, he can just do it. He can overcome
Why
it.
did he got shot in the chest with a kryptonite revolver bullet, essentially.
Yes.
And survived it long enough for people like, oh shit. Is that someone walk over there, see if that's Superman.
There's
You
so
should
many
say-
times that he like it varies on what his strength actually is, and I know that part of it is like his own mental blocks, and he's trying not to like kill everybody and all this other stuff. But at a certain point, you kind of have to say you just have to go no, and then just use your power, you know.
And keep it moving. Yeah, like it's.
And like in Public Enemies, he gets shot with I think he gets shot with the revolver in Public Enemies. But he's fighting right before he starts fighting Metallo. All he had to do was fucking leave. Like just go. Just walk away. Like, what are you doing? Like you know that you're in a shit situation because Lex has set this up, and now you're attacking Lex, and Metallo steps in. Your vision's fading. You still have all your strength. Fucking jump away. Go somewhere. Like, what are you doing?
He's gonna sit there and fight. What are you talking about? It's Superman. If he goes, where's the hope? The thing on his chest means hope. It's not an S.
No, he's
Anyhow.
full of shit.
That's what that says.
Like so many,
That means.
like what Randall always says. Like, I can't stand when smart people make dumbass decisions.
Yeah.
You know, where you're just like, you're watching it and you go, you could have fixed this 1,000 different ways if you had just done this, that, or the other thing. Like, just use your fucking head for a minute.
Why don't they ever aim for his head when they revolver kryptonite at him?
Because they want to put his head on the man like a trophy, so they want to mess it up. Like when
Plastic
you're
surgery
catching-
after.
I guess. Who knows?
Yeah.
All right, we're about reaching the 3 hours and 13 minutes here, so to be
Yeah,
continued.
you can save Wrath of Man and Paradise PD for me. Let other people talk if you want to just get through some stuff.
Well, I mean, it's already. I'm about to end it, but move this on to next week
All right.
to save it. That way, we're not here for 4 hours. I mean, did a great job going through both of these Superman movies. So
I tried to fly through them.
didn't
I had
write
some
them.
stuff I wanted to say, and I didn't write it down. I kept telling myself, like, remember this, write it down when you get up in the morning. And then I got up in the morning and fucking forgot about it.
you got to write it down right then, dude. Like,
Yeah.
you have an iPhone, right?
Yeah.
I think it has a note-taking app, right?
Yeah.
By default.
Yeah.
Just do that. Open that shit up. Pop, pop, pop. And that's it.
You gotta remember, smart person, dumbass decisions. Okay.
All right. Quickly to jot that down. That's what I do with my Google Keeps because it comes with my phone. So I just open up Google Keeps, write it down, and then
I am doing that with So Bryant turned me onto this game called Edge of Eternity.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, Edge of Eternity, and I like the game, but I have a lot of complaints. You know, like
Okay.
things that you could like. It's one of those things where it's like if you just changed all of these quality of life things, the game would be 1,000 times better. You know.
Ooh, okay. So it's one of those. It's like the small things are adding up, and you're like, if this was different, if that was
Yes.
different, yeah. Okay. Make sure to write that down for next week. Then I want to know more about it.
I do have a list for that one.
Okay,
You know,
good.
like the things I like. Like, don't get me wrong, it's gonna be one of those where like I really like these 3 things,
Uh-huh.
and then the rest of it is just gonna be complaints. But it's like,
But it's
if they just
helpful.
fixed, yes,
It's
That's
helpful
specific.
criticisms.
I have a specific game question for you after the podcast, Kelsey.
okay,
Something in E3 brought up interest in a game that I probably have no business playing, but I figured I'd ask you.
Okay. Yeah, we'll save the rest for the next week. We're approaching the 3 hour mark here. Notable releases for this week on games. I didn't see much besides like the Metro Exodus Complete Edition. There's a game called Garlic that's coming out. Rogue Book, Summertime Madness. They're packaging Far Cry 5 and Far Cry New Dawn into a double pack. Season 4 of Call of Duty starts this week if you guys are still playing Call of Duty Warzone. Monobot's coming out this week. Wizardry, The 5 Ordeals. Rims Racing. Sea of Thieves has a new DLC coming out. Alex Kidd in Miracle World. Dungeons and Dragons Dark Alliance is coming out this week, so that's a pretty huge release. We might give that a try. It's a co-op game. It looks like a nice action RPG
What game?
to try out. The 4-player co-op Dungeons and Dragons game where it's like third person and you run it together. You've seen game. It was shown this week.
Oh, with the Bard?
You play as the Bard.
No, hold on. Well, I'm freaking out. You can keep talking. I don't know. I don't remember this at all, but I don't even remember Publix. So
That's facts.
Facts.
All right. That's for this week's games release. Movies, we have the new animated movie by Disney, Luca, comes out this week.
Looks nice.
Hitman's Wife's Bodyguard comes out this week. It's a sequel to Hitman's Bodyguard that came out I don't even know how long ago. Maybe 5 years ago? I don't know.
I'm gonna say 3 years ago.
3? No, that's longer than that. Hitman's Bodyguard? No. Let me go look it up.
2017. Told you 4 years. Actually, hold on. What month?
I don't know what month.
August 18th. Technically 3 years. Hasn't been 4 yet.
Oh, there you go. You win. For music, the only thing I see on here is Kings of Convenience, Max Bloom, MNDR, and forgive me for the pronunciation, Michael Blanco, right? I don't know.
Mickey? Isn't it Mickey Blanco?
Michael MYKK. I think that's an L. Blanco. No, it's Mickey. You're right. It's an I. It's just uppercase for some reason.
That's they call me Twofer Grace where I'm from.
Oh shit, that's good. For free games this week, as Kelsey mentioned earlier, if you have Twitch Prime Gaming, go claim Battlefield 4. Battlefield 4 is fantastic. It's fun. It still has a bunch of servers, people playing it because it's awesome and fun. I forgot what's on Epic this week. They've been doing like the surprise thing each week. I don't remember. Control, I think is. Control on Epic Game Store. Go play it. It's fantastic. I highly recommend Control because I'm the director of the Federal Bureau of Control, Randall. Don't you ever forget it. Go play Control and claim it.
It's free on Epic?
Yeah. So if you haven't played it, I highly recommend you play it. But I think it's also on Game Pass. But on PC. So double check that. That way, if you don't want to support Epic for whatever reason, I think it's on Game Pass. That's it, guys. Randall, what are you doing this week?
I think I'm gonna try to get into some Ratchet and Clank. I don't know when, but sometime this week. The usual stuff: work, gym, prayer.
Oh, he got it. Hey.
Converted him.
Man, please.
You said what? And learn Virgil?
He said converted down.
Oh. Why did I think he said learn Virgil?
Anthony, I would never say that to somebody.
Maybe.
I think that's it.
Okay. Brian, what are you doing this week?
All right, so Tuesday, music stuff. Right?
Nice.
Wednesday, I'm playing some. And then on Thursday, music stuff. And then on Friday, probably going to turn that into Fight Night Fridays and just play fighting games on there.
Hey, that's a good one.
And I'm just going to be playing some Strive, probably with some friends. Or if people are busy, I'll do online
Ranked?
other people. Yeah.
Ooh.
I placed the lowest out of a bunch of friends of mine, and one of them like awful in fighting games because they don't pay. They're those people that ask you advice and then ignore. They ask you something so they can ignore what you say.
Oh, got it. So it's like,
And
hey,
they
my
place-
What you do to
block
me, like I
low,
gave you the guide on how to be the best DB fighters player
and you
ever, and
completely ignored him. Like he told you who the
Oh, no.
best zoner was, which is Kelsey.
shit. There's
Thank
16.
Yeah.
16.
you. And you just did not use him as a zoner. So look what happened to you.
Yeah, they placed higher than me. You do a tutorial match for Strive, and then they put you on a floor,
Yeah.
and I placed below said person.
Oh, so you were salty as fuck.
That's
Can you rank up? I guess we'll talk about now. We'll talk about that when you review the game next week. Okay, so Guilty Gears on Friday. Nice. Kelsey.
And then my weekend, I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing.
We'll find out together.
We'll find out. Maybe I won't. Maybe I'll stream it. I won't. Maybe I don't know. We'll find
No
out.
one knows. It's just a huge question mark after Friday night
Yeah.
stream. Or Friday night
What's
fight.
up?
Kelsey, what you doing this week? What you streaming? What you recording? What you know?
So Thursdays I think are gonna start being a Wasteland 3 day.
Okay.
I wanted to ask Brian about that because he came in and was like, "Why the fuck are you playing this?" But
I warned you guys.
one of my streamer buddies, Enraged Llama, he just flat out bought me the game. He was like,
Play this.
He asked me if I liked all this stuff, and I was like, "Yeah, I mean, it sounds really good." And he's like, "Okay, give me a second," and then he just bought me the game. And I was like, "Damn, that's awesome."
I thought it was on Game Pass already.
I don't know.
Let me.
That's how E-Man and I played it on Game
Yeah,
Pass. I don't know if it's still there though. I wouldn't be surprised if it wasn't still there.
I'll look it up real quick. Keep going. No.
So Thursdays we're just gonna be playing Wasteland 3. So far, I'm enjoying it. I'm having fun with it. There are some things I think I would like to see different, but all in all, like I'm enjoying the majority of the game.
Okay, that's cool. There to confirm, it is on Game Pass.
Okay.
On the console one and on the PC one.
Gotcha.
For
Let's
anybody
see.
who's interested in playing it.
Um,
So Thursday's Wasteland. What you doing? Are you still playing through or streaming Mass Effect or no? Or are you just gonna do that offline?
I haven't been streaming Mass Effect. I'm gonna probably keep streaming. I started streaming Edge of Eternity. I do need to finish Mass Effect. I also need to finish God of War, Bloodborne,
Right, the backlog.
Dark Star, Demons, Souls. You know, like I have a list of shit that I have to
I still
do.
gotta finish Demons.
Yeah, Brian keeps fucking forgetting.
I own Returnal because Adam was like, I want to get this, but I don't want to have a PS5. And I was like, well, we could see if you can play.
Remote play.
You could play on mine from, your place with remote play. And he pulled it up, and I loaded up God of War and sat here and watched him, and he was like, "There's like almost no,
No
latency." Yeah. And I was like, okay. So I was like, I can get Returnal if you want. So I got it, downloaded it. He hasn't fucking played it.
It'd be like that. Well, you guys are also like really into Gunfire right now, so he's probably playing that.
Yeah, we were playing Gunfire Reborn quite a bit. I don't know, kind of, sort of over Gunfire, sort of not.
Mhm.
It was $12. Like I totally got my
And I
$12
think it's on
of
sale. I think it's on sale for like $10 now. So
I almost got it, but I was like, stop adding, subtract from your list.
gotcha.
Yeah.
And then I've been playing Guilty Gear.
Have you even played the Mass Effect Legendary Edition?
No, I have it installed. I preloaded and everything. Have not even hit play once. For that, the only reason I haven't is because, one, I want to read the comics to lead up to the first one and like do the whole canon read to play, and second, since I've already played that before, I'm like, let me get through stuff I haven't played, and then I started Persona 5.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. A JRPG you've played before, so
Yeah,
countless hours are now taken up.
but that one was so that I can get to Strikers.
Gotcha. Okay.
I'm
Go ahead,
just
Kelsey.
a real person.
Other than that, I'm not really sure what else I'm going to be streaming. I kind of want to get further into I played Edge of Eternity a little this weekend. The Diablo 2 ladder reset is here, and so I've been playing that some too.
Nice.
What else?
I need a release date for that. The remastered.
Yeah, I don't think they've given us a release date. People have been speculating.
This week,
No, they did.
they did it on the Xbox showcase. They showed the
Oh.
date.
September 23rd, I think it was.
Yeah, it's
Okay, I was gonna say some people have been speculating it's like between August and November,
they gave a date.
which I guess fits that timeline.
Yeah, yesterday they gave it. So we have a countdown going now. 8-player co-op, which means Anthony tries to run into the gang to get some damage off before everyone else kills everything. Free
Yeah.
XP.
So, yeah, I mean, I have a lot of stuff that I need to play,
You know,
need to
yeah.
finish, like Dragoon.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Maybe I'll have to carve out a specific time to play that so that you guys can watch and actually see me finish it.
What you need to do is this year make an Extra Life stream and only play Dragoon
Only play Dragoon. Okay.
for 24 hours straight on game day.
I don't know that it's gonna take me 24 hours, but I can probably do that.
Oh, I guess that makes. Oh, you think it'll take longer or less?
Less.
It's a shorter game. Okay.
I mean, I don't know. That's a good question. Like I don't remember how long it took me to get through each of the discs. I think a lot of it was me getting confused on there's always this one spot. It's like the water temple in Ocarina of Time where there's like that one key that you can't figure out what the fuck to where it is so that you can continue on.
Mhm.
There's a place that's like at a harbor or something, and I can never remember how to get past it, and so I like run around doing nothing for I don't even know how long.
Right. Well, now you know where to when you get to the harbor. Guide right there. What do I need to do? All right, cool. Finish that part, and then you can do the rest solo.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Okay.
Anthony, what are you doing this weekend
What
or this week?
this weekend? I don't know what the hell I'm doing this weekend. This week? Prayer. I think that's what Brian just told me. So I don't know what the count was. Fucking Randall. Let's see. Tomorrow's Tuesday. Most likely Monster Boy in the Cursed Kingdom, because I need to continue playing that. Wednesday is most likely either Torchlight with Brian, or we're going to continue leveling our Borderlands side characters, because Javi, I think, works on Wednesday. But I'll confirm. Go ahead, Brian.
When does that Dark Alliance thing come out?
The 22nd. So, wait, then why is... Oh, then that's next week then. That's not this week. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I don't know why I read it for this week. My apologies. That's next week's release, so I'll probably talk about it more then. Or just say it's releasing next week. So that's next week, the 22nd. And then that game is also day and date Game Pass. So for the peeps who want to try that out. Anyway, Monster Boy in the Cursed Kingdom on a Tuesday. Wednesday is going to be most likely Torchlight or more side character Borderlands leveling, because I have a Borderlands problem. And then Thursday, probably Biomutant, but maybe It Takes Two, because I think Janina's off on Thursday, so we could probably do it then. So yeah, Thursday is probably going to be more It Takes Two.
You guys are gonna pass us.
Most likely, we might finish it Thursday.
This
If this is the last group of... If getting that piece of paper is the last thing, then we're almost done, because we already got one piece, and we only need 3 more. So we might finish it on Thursday. Which means our next game will be Resident Evil. If we finish it Thursday. And then for the weekend, I don't have anything planned. So I'll keep you all updated for the weekend. And that's it for this week's episode of the ADLR Podcast. Thank you all for joining me here, my co-hosts. We will see you.
You and in the podcast.
Yes, sir.
we're starting it.
We're starting it, apparently, according to Brian. But we're heading out. Thank you guys for watching. We'll be back next week with probably more for Nintendo's announcements for tomorrow and whatever other announcements happen throughout the E3 week. And then we have... What is it? What do I have on here that we set to do? Mayor of Easttown that we watched. Kelsey still has to talk about his take on Wrath of Man. And the remaining season of Paradise. PD. I still need to talk about 21 Pilots album. Brian's got Guilty Gear Strive.
I want to see if I can get to the story for that too.
So we still have a bunch of stuff queued up to talk about for next week. It's just that E3 came so suddenly that I forgot. So now we just have 2 E3 episodes back to back. Probably a third one with Nintendo's announcements. And that's it. As always.